department here. But you look at some of the other teams or teammates who are falling behind, and we know that they're good for as many kills as they can, but some of these trades that they're going out for, it's been 1 for 2. Whenever we see Sarah get their initial 2, YFP answers back with 2. We need to start seeing more than just Sarah in that kill feed. I need to be seeing Mel again start popping off again. And with this timeout, though, it's also how early in these rounds they want to explode onto these sites, because there's been a lot of defaulting that has unfortunately just not given them much information here.
The other thing is that it's fast default. Like they get like a crumb of the cookie and then they roll with it. They quickly rotate to another location and execute onto that site. Like the whole cookie gets dropped into the milk glass, so to speak, in that moment, instead of enjoying the situation, trying to actually pull out more cooldowns, more information, try to fake out the enemy team. They're not doing that. It is very fast decision making, which is great in some situations, but I feel like against YFP, it's not quite what's working out as much. And I also want to circle back to what you're saying about Sarah. Yes, we're seeing Sarah get 2 kills, but then we're seeing a response of 2 kills, and Sarah being one of those kills that is coming from YFP onto SR. My response to that is, let's give a little bit more support to our duelist. We have double initiator instead of our initiators playing on top of each other, which we're seeing a lot of from SR. Maybe we let one play with Sarah instead, as we have Marceline take out Alexis. That one initiator I was going to suggest actually going with Sarah a little bit more. It's gone now.
Well, the trades do come through. Thank God the early round fight did lead in the favor of SR for their sake, as they want to tie this game up. But you look over at Corrupt, who's getting, absolutely just shut down by Noya, and that is going to be YFP more than likely needing to go for some exit picks here. I doubt that they actually try to touch this site. Even if they have money, it's just not worth it. They're not really going to be able to get close enough to an ultimate. Yeah, Scary Sharks maybe 1 or 2 points away. However, if they touch this site, this is a whole lot of firing range. This is a lot of people that are going to be able to shut down that bomb diffuser.
I think YFP, you save, but they are opting not to. They use that cascade to try and prevent anyone from seeing what's going on, to slow them down, but instead they just end up losing the 2 weapons they could have utilized into the next round. And I think, unfortunately, we see 2 players have bank accounts that are about as bad as mine in real life, and that means you really should have hung on to those weapons and just saved.
Oh, I'm looking at YFP. They're struggling to decide who gets what this round. You're seeing a lot of back and forth buys, and that's one of the telltale signs of an anxious team here, or maybe just one that's pretty tired. Remember, they have played a lot more Valorant today than SR. SR deciding, okay, we're going to be taking our entire games pretty handily, pretty quick here. So, SR, they're feeling still a little bit fresh out of the day, even though this is going into the afternoon. They're feeling okay, but YFP, I feel that we're seeing those cracks.
We had a lovely scan early on. Marceline's gonna fall to Sarah with that Blade Storm. Corrupt immediately takes down Sarah in response. There's the trade. We're gonna use the Reckoning to try and engage her on point for YFP. It works out in their favor. Actually, no, it doesn't, because we end up losing one other player. It's a 4v3, not favoring YFP. I mean, we have from the shadows to gain information, but I mean, if you're YFP, you're very broke at this point in time. We saw the struggle buys. We did end up buying an operator this round. Maybe we just try and save.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm a little bit concerned here coming out from YFP. They just keep going for things that might have been better to save, especially with how low their funds are. Their bank account's running empty, and unfortunately, we're going to see that toll collector come. But wait, Malia? Malia? No. Last round, and YFP managing to lose their lead. Now 2 rounds back-to-back. Do you think this can even get close to a 6-6? I mean, it's going to have to be a pseudo-thrifty little econ.
Well, look, we saw YFP pull up a very successful thrifty at the 3-3 mark. So I don't doubt that it's possible to do it. Do we need a little bit more of a mentality shift? Yes. Do I think having our Marceline pushed up really high might be a little bit of a death sentence? Yes, especially if we get caught in Alexis's 0-point knife, which is consistently, when we've pushed A site, gone through in this area. So Marceline's been revealed, only has the judge, which I get being pushed forward with that, but you got to keep in mind how has this team been playing every time, and it's that 0-point knife. We're going to try to use Cascade to buy Marceline a little time. Are we going to be able to find the execution onto Sarah? We do. There's a possible gun, but the jump! See? There we go! Holy cow!
That was a collateral with the Guardian from the sidelines through the smoke. And yeah, it's going to be 6-6 here, unless, you know, Noya. Easy 1v5 for Noya here. But real talk, though, Bomb not in an ideal position. A minute on the clock. No opportune moment to save. Does have one single cage to maybe lock away some space. But with the Cypher on the flank, they're going to have to get extra careful. They know that pushing is going to happen. Lots of utility getting thrown out. And here's the flank.
We saw the double fake TP, the paranoia, but Noya knows my tripwire just went down. I at least can find one person to trade with before I get taken out and accomplish that much.
Switching sides.
Wow. Now, switching sides here, I think this is going to completely shift the dynamic, because I would argue that YFP's team with a double controller, especially on a map as wide as this, it feels like it's a three-lane map here, with the mid lane being this just chasm of mid where so many rotations happen. Double controller definitely helps with the defense here, but could help with the rotates. I'm thinking YFP is favored in that last half, however, against SR, whose double initiator is still just as clean on defense.
As someone who, look, this is the funny part. I enjoy controllers. I appreciate them. I love them. I myself am a controller player. However, when it comes to playing defense, I feel like controllers were great for their job is to buy time and prevent information from giving out. Yes, but initiators, a double initiator retake gets you information and can shut down enemy utility. Either whether it be their ability to see you or their ability to use anything if you're KO and you just want them to play CSGO for a moment. So with that in mind, I think SR, if they play their cards right, the timing's in their favor. They know to back off and play to their sine wave, can have a huge advantage here on playing retakes.
So now, with retakes as the main idea, looking at YFP, this default, what have they learned? Absolutely nothing. Almost no utility has been tossed here by SR. And now with a minute left, they are going right into Cypher, the one Sentinel that can completely rue their day. But yeah, Shock Dart's not going to hit the trip, and that is going to set things up fairly well. Marceline, though, just decides walking it in anyways. Great hit, but Noya getting gunned down. Same with Misu. Elaborate has to make some space in mid, but Sarah spotted. And Sarah, unfortunately, takes a little bit too much damage there. Makes this 3v4 very difficult.
Scary Shark is also dangerously low. Goes down to Sarah. Sarah now inside of tower. Alexis uses that flash drive, gets Sarah in, but Sarah opts to just go to the dead center of the point, and that will be their own undoing. Paranoia shot out. Don't think it lands on anyone. Corrupt falls. Alexis was the trade in. Now Mel, it's all up to you, but Mel can't even reach the spike. That's YFP claiming the first pistol round here of the second half.
Wow, absolutely beautifully played there by YFP. And, you know, even though they managed to not get a lot of information, it was that push there from Marceline, being able to isolate Noya out. And I was kind of shocked there. You know, we saw them get hit by that camera, yet the playstyle, turning the corner without your gun when you know someone's around the corner there, a little bit of a misplay. However, YFP versus SR, this is a grand finals with a lot on the line. We know that YFP and Shopify, they want to prove themselves to be the better team. And as of right now, I could not tell you which team is going to be taking this first map.
Like I said, the only thing I was able to call earlier is I think we're going to see an extended game that's going to go past, you know, that 13 round, the 13 to be the victory. I'm thinking, honestly, I'm leaning more towards 16-17 as being what's necessary to be the victor here on Abyss. I think it lends itself to the newness of this map and the dynamic metas that are presented on this map. I like double controller. I like double initiator. It's all about how you play it. And right now, Corrupt is playing it properly, sneaking up on to Site A, is about to become a new member of our defensive squad. Never mind. It rounds the corner, uses 2 shots. Unfortunately, I don't think either of them landed, but now we need a fast flood onto A site and a quick execution as Elaborate will be able to take down Mel.
Wow, huge. Without Mel, that's going to be the only control agent gone, but look at that flank. Noya able to grab a pick. Wait. This is going to be a big retake. Everybody just stomping their feet together. But everyone, unfortunately for the side of YFP, grouped up in main, should be able to slow these players down a bit. But think they might be able to get a pick. We do see bomb getting tapped. We do see a flick with the outlaw, but it's actually Scary Shark getting one. Sarah flies in and will get gunned down immediately, leaving Alexis alone. And wow, I mean, Sarah becoming the flashbang for their team.
You could call it taking attention and trying to get information at the minimum, but honestly, that is the second time I feel like Sarah's really been punished for tailwinding into the team. And perhaps that will be the last time we see it happen here. At least on Abyss is now YFP is leading by 2. This is not something that, Shopify Rebellion, at least during this unofficial broadcast, has experienced. However, I mean, YFP as well has also been a very dominant force on Abyss. So someone was going to get a rude wake-up call today, and right now it looks like it's Shopify Rebellion, but I'm not going to say that with absolute certainty.
Ooh, absolute certainty is a dead Sarah, though. Marceline able to get a clean pick down. But wait a minute, elaborate. We'll have to elaborate where the reaction time was as Mel able to take out that Cypher beautifully here for the team. But it's not over. It's a B push. And wait a minute.
Oh.
Blind, no info, just going for the TPs. We're seeing fumbles after fumbles in this round for YFP. And now Noya inching up, might be able to keep that energy going. Spots out one, but gets gunned down. The Sheriff comes out on top, leaving Mel here to flank. But there's Mars getting one. There's Mel getting corrupt. It's a 2v2. It's a 1v2. It's all Mel. And Mel needs just one more. Just needs this Omen or Jet. And gets it.
Oh my goodness, Mel. That was beautifully executed. Playing the Executioner, honestly. Taking down 3 yourself. I'm pretty sure that information was given that Jet was inside tower, but the other 2 were so swiftly taken care of. And in my mind, I was thinking Corrupt would win the one-on-one between themselves and Mel, but no, Mel was the victor in that situation. So my theory was already flipped upside down as soon as that elimination occurred.
Yeah, and honestly, great gameplay coming out here from SR. You could tell that, what happened on attack? Well, Sarah definitely led the charge, but now on defense, it's up to Mel here to be that just VIP. You have to play Secret Service here when you're playing with SR, when you're playing with Mel being able to pop off. But wait a minute, look at this mid-aggression here. Sarah's going to get spotted out, but will Sarah get picked? No. Unfortunately, no one's able to see through that wall.
I actually think the recon bolt did spot Sarah. Trying to be a little
I just thought
too
that they were going to get
advantageous.
shot. Not a single shot was fired.
I did too. Thankfully, Sarah is not the first one to fall in this situation, but Mel pushing forward is undeterred by the fact they are in the danger zone. Picks up one, but now 3 members of SR have fallen because of that little too gun-ho gameplay that we just experienced in mid as we entered the latter half of the field, so to speak.
But now what does attack do? They know that they're up people. They're waiting for this outlaw to not only get info, but maybe a pick. But instead, the opposite happens. That's going to be a trade down. And wait a minute. They spotted 2. A is clear. They start running all the way across this map. And A should be completely free. And the second that SR knows the bomb is planted is when they're going to start moving their bodies. And unfortunately, this retake is not going to be easy. But do you think they go for it?
I mean, if you're SR, it's a 2v3. We know Jet has Blade Storm ready to go if necessary. I feel like if you are currently in this situation, you lose one player and you really want to get that 2-round lead, especially this late in the game, you could theoretically go for it. But if you're SR and you're just looking to equalize things, I feel like we're early enough in this half that, yeah, you can go for it. The economy may not be in your favor next round, but I mean, risk it for the biscuit sometimes is what you got to do. However, losing Noi right then means perhaps we disengage. We did not engage at the right time. Both of us got spotted separately, ended up in a 2v1 and a 1v1. Never want to do that when you're down agents. So unfortunately, we risked it and we did not get the biscuit.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate there, but at the end of the day, you are going to be seeing a new time to shine. Second time out being called by SR in this game. And, looking at their money, it's definitely a future planning prep time. So, Effies in their ear right now saying, okay, we have so many options here to try to turn this game around, but what exactly is the catalyst that should do it? And honestly, I think that is going to be them saving maybe not just one round, but 2 rounds in a row, trying to build up their economy, maybe even build up those ultimates. If Sarah can get those knives out, if we can see Alexis's null command, retaking will be so much easier.
Well, the one thing I also want to point out is that they're probably also discussing the fact that 2 members on YFP are also a little worse for wear as far as economy goes. They cannot both commit to full buys this round unless they're going to buy like lesser weapons. And so they're likely playing the, oh, I'm going to pick up a weapons game as well. So if we don't want to play into that trap, which is what Corrupt and Elaborate are looking to have happen in some capacity, we go in with the least quality weapons possible. The 2 Deagles, sure, but 3 Classics, most definitely the way to go, and we see them sticking with that. We have 1 Outlaw buy, and then if you're Corrupt, you've got full utility, full shields, and opting to actually go for the Vandal instead. I think a teammate might have bought that. Yeah, Scary Shark, I believe, bought that for Corrupt. So Elaborate, the one who's having to choose the I guess, lesser of 2 evils option here is going with the Outlaw, which can still ruin your buy for next round. So, YFP, gotta be careful here. Make sure that we don't lose our Cypher.
Yeah, oof, don't lose your Cypher. I mean, don't lose your head. Looking at SR, though, they are just snaking through this map, single file line, trying to get it back to A as shots have been fired, noise has been made, and Elaborate has taken out Misu. Huge pick-ons, and look at that, Mel, Classic in hand, getting that eco kill down. Massive for this team, but wait a minute. We do have YFP still wanting to get that bomb plant, but it's not going to be too easy.
I know exactly where you are.
And remember, we're on an eco here, so Elaborate opting to go for the Neuro Theft from inside tower. It's going to tell where everyone is. There's only 3 remaining, but Melee... That's a 2-piece combo, and now it is just 1 left standing. They will also fall down. It's Sarah being the last eliminated by Elaborate. Who's going to go steal that Sheriff? For good measure. So for the eco, that was pretty well executed. Things should start to swing in favor, I feel like, now of YFP after that. But you mentioned it earlier. Maybe not just 1 round of saving. Maybe 2. I think 2 rounds of saving should be what's occurring. Instead of this, 2 of us are going to have full loadouts and 3 of us are not.
Yeah, I mean, this should be okay. This should be fine. I am not too concerned about SR in this next round. The only thing that I'm kind of leaning towards as a stress point is going to be this op in the hands of SR. If it can't connect, then they've invested too much money, and it can't. So, maybe not, though. Mel needs to get out, get that op. All right, should be able to back out, but already with 1 player down, that's a big hit to the economy, no matter what the outcome is.
I genuinely want to know, was that op completely taken off the map because of the way Mel walked? I think it was. Just trying to make sure no one else can pick it up. Mel, yeah, didn't walk forward with an op. Instead, Melia will pick out both Alexis and Mel. And then Misu falls shortly thereafter to Marceline. It's a 1v4. This is definitely a sticky situation for SR. And if you're Noi, I think you should save. I don't... opting for the hero play in this instance, and you can disagree with me here, I don't think it's worth it.
Ooh, nice, Noya. Nice shot down. But, again, SR, they've committed so much into this round. Unfortunately, there's a good chance that they might not walk away with any of it, as that op is just staring at their face. And, yeah, Noya doesn't have the opportunity to even pick it back up. So, taps the bomb, about to get swung, about to get killed. And that is going to be probably the round here, but... oh, they're just playing it so smart. Oh, maybe not. Shock dart.
Oh, that recon bolt's going to be our own undoing if you're Noi. I genuinely, now we're hitting the point where we're getting a little too broke. A full team buy of nothing but Eagles. This is going to be... perhaps we're going to see what SR do what YFP did earlier, which is everyone walk forward together. We have that Bladestorm online. We use Bladestorm to lead the charge. Swing, we get the 1, 2, 3 and swing type of deal going on. But really, I think just 2 rounds ago, 2 players saving. Last round, 1 player saving. Just 1 person with the hero Vandal would have been such a game changer for SR.
Yeah, just one good pick would be able to turn this around, but unfortunately I feel like this is the trickle effect, and what I was talking about with this map being so new, the team that has played it more in a tournament setting, which in this tournament alone YFP has dominated on this map not once but twice, compared to SR only being able to do it in the quarters. So I think that they're just showing a little bit of seniority just in this point now. So in the grand finals, that's where it matters most, and SR is going to have to really start to turn this around. They're out of timeouts, they're out of money, and they soon are going to be out of time here, as YFP only needs 2 more rounds before we move into the second of this best of 3.
Right here.
Corrupt is going to make their presence known, and I think it was done intentionally.
I have the spike.
Placing out the intel, trying to bait people to rotate. But we also have Scary Shark doing the exact same thing over on A side, but dying early is a death sentence to his plan. Look at the floodgate that opened up momentarily on A side. They walked forward, clarified no one was there, rotating back. This spike to go down fast if you're YFP.
Wow, and look at that. It's going to be a little slower thanks to Noya, but now the bomb will eventually be stuck. Just kidding. Finding a different position here. Going and burning that clock a little bit more, using the leniency they have. Sarah running and gunning, getting a knife right into Melia's head. Leaves Corrupt in a pretty poor position. And the knives. Sarah keeps it going, keeps them thriving. Sarah single-handedly just takes this round for SR.
Well executed, Sarah. Yes, pun intended. However, if you are SR, you cannot be putting this much weight onto one individual on your team to literally put everyone in their backpack and said, all right, gamers, get in, and carried you through that Thrifty. That is a scary situation to be in. I mean, we're 2 rounds away from YFP winning this, and their economy is still relatively healthy. I say that with the caveat of Corrupt being a little broke. Elaborate choosing to go with the operator as well could be the undoing. We've not really seen a well-executed op play, I think, this entire map, and I think it's kind of cursed on Abyss for these 2 teams right now. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm happy to eat my words.
Here we go. Let's see if you will be eating good today. Looks like Sarah's gonna be just absolutely cleaning house. And there's the trade. No one expects the double push-up. Great from Mel. Another shock dart, whiffing a little bit there, but Mel will fall. Misu wanted to now find that trade-off. We do see a 3v3. The op still breathing here for YFP. 3 ultimates on the board. If they want to rotate, they definitely can, but they still only have that information from what just happened mid. And what is this? Corrupt just shooting off an ultimate. I knew that they had lack of information, but I don't think that was the way to earn it.
If anything, it's more of a detriment to our Sova hitting that, because it tells everyone exactly where you're standing. If you don't get any intel off it, all you've done is reveal and say, hello, hi, I'm here, as we have that 0-point knife land. Ends up taking my Corrupt's abilities. It's a 2v1, but only a double 1v1 swing, actually, in favor of Corrupt, because we didn't swing together. It's always tragic. Noi getting blocked off by that dart cover from Omen. And Noi will go down to Melia. And I actually will say the operator died first.
Match point.
Yeah.
That op was gone.
Yeah, and that's kind of happened a lot, hasn't it? Almost every time.
Ops, please.
Put the ops down, everybody. We have, I think, we've seen more outlaw kills than op kills. So, guys, you don't have to spend 4,800. Just commit half of that, and you're pretty much
Just
set.
buy the outlaw.
Just buy the outlaw.
Oh my goodness. All right, Sarah. We are at match point.
Right here.
I need you to pop off with this op.
I mean, if anybody can, Sarah can. Just having a little bit of a battle every time here with this 2 teams. And, oh, wait a minute. An ultimate this early? Coming out from Misu? Doesn't connect to anyone. Well, it sure does distract. It makes him bounce jumping up and down. Mel takes him out. What a great use of info gathering from the Hunter's Fury. Very different from what we saw from Corrupt in that last round. But unfortunately, that is going to be a harbor sneaking up into Link here. Unfortunately, the wall gives away their position.
Using utility like that is always risk versus reward, because if there is someone there, you're telling them you're there. But if there isn't, well, now they know where you're at.
On target. Revealing area.
Wow. That's what Misu has to do. Just taking out 1 and 2, and they're all lined up. And come on, Mel, just looking at them walking in that line, keeping SR in this game flawlessly. At that, YFP might have match point advantage, but the advantage is slowly shifting back into SR's hands. And did we see an op kill there?
No.
No, we did not. We saw Noya and Mel just cook.
Hey, but Sarah did not die with the ops. I think that's the second time we've successfully had the op holder survive the round. But I actually want to see the op used and well.
Let's see it. So, op used and well. How about Blade Storms used out? That's going to be a Blade Storm for YFP. And you know what the first gun dropped on the ground is every single time we see it? It's the op.
It's getting painful.
Just a little bit, but it's okay. We have Mel. We got Mel. But Mel just flashed into Elaborate's line of sight. Oh, so unfortunate there. But Melia now being able to TP around. They're going to be clearing all the way into spawn and actually sticks it. Commits to this spot. Does not get spotted quite yet. Should be able to hear those footsteps soon.
YFP has the advantage here. The operator is dead. It is a 4v3. Their position's good. Melia plays the trigger discipline, but doesn't wait for the second body to walk through the smoke. It's a trade, but SR, it is just down to Misu. Misu, can you clutch this in a 2v1? That Cypher is already dead to rights. Tickle them. Sneeze on them, if you will. Breathe in their general direction, and they will fall over. Can you successfully execute these two and get the spike used to keep SR alive here on Abyss?
Standing ahead.
Let's hope so. I mean, Misu, it's been up to them. Does have an owl drone. Remember the last time we saw them use it in this situation? It did not work out in their favor. But with one shock dart, they might be able to take out this incredibly low Cypher. No, just barely getting away. They're spotted. The recon dart, forcing it, and the round ends. YFP will be successful. Beautiful in their Abyss gameplay.
I mean, okay. I genuinely was thinking Shopify was going to be the ones to be the executioners on this map. Things got real close, but YFP is posting up and showing us why they are here in the grand finals as well. They haven't as easy a ride as Shopify, but holy cow, was that an incredible match.
Yeah, and coming out of the team that is, you know, we were discussing it, fatigued. They were going in, but now it's a different kind of fatigues. They're wearing their military gear. They're looking like they are executing things beautifully here. So the way that I've been seeing them play, I'm hoping is going to translate into the next map. But with how Shopify Rebellion has yet to lose a map, they're going to be coming back with a little bit of a vengeance here. I can already, picture what the energy in that VC is for them right now, with Effie's trying to reel their team back together. And obviously a team that's played this long, they know, hey, you can have that map. We're going to beat you 2 times more. So it could be a reverse sweep, but only time will tell here in the Open Qualifier number 2 Grand Finals. So I'm quite excited to see who's going to be taking it.
I am too. I mean, next map is Ascent, and we've already we've had our analysts comment on this a little bit in regards to the creativity we've been able to be seeing from one of these teams in regards to their compositions. I personally don't have a vendetta against Ascent regardless of what composition a team plays. I feel like Standard is fine, because my analyst brain is like, okay, well, why was this team more successful? That's why I enjoy watching that, but I also like seeing creativity on the field. I don't mind if we continue to go forward with a double initiator or a double controller comp. I personally really enjoy teams that pull out double duelists that are controlling the mid zone more than anything else on Ascent, but what about you?
Honestly, when it comes to Ascent, this map in a lot of people's minds, since it hasn't changed in how many years, has been practically solved. The only thing that's really added spice is what characters you're going to be bringing to the table. Sometimes we saw Fade when Fade was really relevant pop off. We saw, an odd strat that died as soon as it popped up was a double controller strat. But this map is Initiator Haven, all right? This is where you're going to be wanting to see Initiators, Sovas with Odins, KJs with Odins. We're looking at probably the most, bare bones, okay, okay, you're going to have Sova, KJ, KO, probably an Omen or a Clove, maybe. A Clove can spice things up relative to the age of this map. And then any duelist of, preference for these players. So honestly, though, when it comes down to it, I think our analysts might be able to let us know a little bit more. So we are going to be sending it over to them. So shout outs to Nerd and Ancient. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, Edu and Nerdy Bird. Honestly, Nerdy Bird, Nerd didn't make the connection there earlier, but I'm super happy to see some more nerds get into it. I'm here with Ancient Angel, stepping in for the rest of the broadcast. Huge props. Thank you. I'm muted. Oh no. Oh, I must have been muted on Discord. My apologies. Thankfully, Vimix still heard me, so hopefully you heard me in the chat. But Ancient Angel is just giving you, glazing you up. You are an absolute amazing analyst, and thank you for stepping in. I'm gonna pass to you.
I mean, what is there to say? We just came off the back of the most competitive map of the stream so far.
Oh, man, they made him bleed. They made Shopify Rebellion bleed. And boy, when I say I was gonna leave at one point to go grab some water or food, I couldn't. I was just like, no, I can't. I cannot leave this. Insanity. And I'm getting fed information from watching it, and I'm seeing this I think I called it earlier. I was like, I think YFP have got this. It's a weird map. Shopify probably, they had a really good showing on it previously. So coming into it, I assumed Shopify was going to do an amazing job, but then they didn't. And they started to show some weaknesses. And I was like, 2 timeouts, you still haven't found, fixed the weaknesses. It's over. YFP have got you.
Well, and it's something that I thought was really, really interesting coming into this was, once again, we're talking about, Shopify heavy favorites, and now here's this underdog who's running up and catching them off guard. They take Abyss off the table now, and now this again calls into question, where's Shopify's heads at? What do we get going into Ascent? Because we've seen YFP on Ascent already. They looked really confident. We saw just non-stop plays, but to be fair, we also saw Shopify. Same exact thing, right? We saw that map they played against in the semis, right? Where we saw Noya get the ace clutch and we were losing our minds.
I was gonna say, weren't you the one casting that game?
I was, yes. And it was
Mesos, I believe it was Mesos.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just remember that ace clutch from Noya. It was absolutely insane and ridiculous. But
all in all, I have to agree with you, right? These next 2 maps are, I wouldn't say it's really an upset. YFP just really performing and coming out here. It'll be an upset if YFP can win this out, especially considering that these next 2 maps are kind of not the bread and butter. I mean, they are kind of just the staples of Valorant. We've said this to ad nauseum at this point, and I don't know what else to say other than just these are basic maps. SR is a really strong team. It's gonna come down to fundamentals and mechanics between them.
That's one way to put it, and I do agree there. The other thing as well is with Shopify, we know that they're probably going to stick to the comp we just saw them play against Mesos, which is the Deadlock and the Cypher, right? That kind of
double senti.
The double senti. And on the other side of things for YFP, the chances are they're going for that more traditional comp, right? The double initiator with the Omen and then just the Soul KJ. So it really is going to come down to who has a better read on how to counter the other team's comp. And we've already seen Shopify counter the likely choice of composition for YFP. So it's really going to be about, can YFP effectively deal with this double sentinel utility? Can they play around it? Are they going to be able to kind of prevent these execute cutoffs that you see so often between Cypher and Deadlock, where they can really halt that bursting momentum and utility out from an attacking side? Is there a way for YFP to play around that, or are they going to kind of get choked out at those choke points?
I'm just gonna say, considering that YFP had such a grueling past match in semifinals, I don't think they're gonna have too much time to kind of directly counter strat. They're not going to be like, obviously they didn't watch the VOD. Obviously they couldn't watch it live. Maybe the coach, maybe someone kind of gave them some information. They probably, you know, they have 5 minutes right now to kind of rethink a little bit. But in 5 minutes, you can't come up with like an insane strategy to combat something like that. So I think a lot of it will be kind of impromptu and based around the callers in the game. So the IGL and the mid-round callers are going to have to kind of coordinate together. And it's going to really be a test of how coordinated is YFP. But I mean, I digress. We could talk about this, but I think that, you know, we talked a little bit about the past. We're talking a little bit about the future. We're going to pass it over to Edu and Nerdy Bird to talk more about the next match coming up to Ascent. We'll see you guys there.
All right, well, welcome back, everybody. Thanks again for the handoff. And, you know, I'm going to hit on a note that Nerds was just talking about, and that's these IGLs here, these players who have been able to, you know, in the moment, in the heat of battle, be able to lead the troops. So when it comes down to it, which team do you think fares a little bit stronger here?
I am actually going to go with YFP, and I think this is strictly based upon the fact that they've been playing for so long today. The gears are really greased. However, it's when you get to exhaustion, you start to make improper decisions. So I'm going to lay into the fact that I don't think they've fully hit that point yet, please. And I'm going to say that I think we've seen smarter both pre-round and mid-round decision making coming from YFP, whereas like you and I were sitting here and multiple times during Abyss begged Shopify, like, please just please save. But they kept on insisting on making decisions that we, as the two of us who have watched a lot of these games, did not think were the best ways to go about what was happening, how to combat what was going on. And I feel like YFP has shown us that despite grueling amounts of rounds, they are still able to keep a level head. Yes, they made mistakes here and there, but we weren't seeing repeated mistakes being made in back-to-back rounds from YFP like we were from SR. And I think it will lend itself better to a map that is so well known, used, played, what have you here on Ascent, to a team that is more level-headed. They aren't going to take the risks. They'll measure them very heavily and decide, is it worth it, or do we save? Do we take it for rotation? Do we play patient? I think YFP has executed that very well thus far.
Absolutely. I think that you're right. I do want to say, though, when we come down to like saving in YFP, YFP managed a lot of the time when they were, you know, in the first half, when we were 6-6, a very close game here, they were making the same mistakes. So I think that it's up to either team which one is able to keep their level head on. I will say, because YFP was able to, you know, have that Thanos moment, the all that for a drop of blood, they were able to actually take that game in the second half quite handily, because on the attack side, especially on a map like Abyss, you can make a little bit more mistakes and not get as easily punished for it. Defense on Abyss, the second you miss a shot on, you know, how we saw Sarah consistently peaking with that op and just losing it over and over and over again, it's a guaranteed free sight the second that happens. But you look over at YFP now on a map like Ascent, this is a map that has been time and time again, welcome to fundamentals. This is the map where this is 100%, okay, you know how to default, you know how to play economy, you know how to aim. That is all. You're looking at the team comp here, though, Cypher Deadlock on both ends. Holy, this is going to be very interesting to see how they actually pop off.
You list the fundamentals, that's what's going to come down to. In the first one, identifying the utility usage, we do see that spike cam go up immediately, gets taken down before I think it was even engaged. We're just rotating through mid. We're going to use these shock darts to clear out the area near pizza in front of market. If we have this jump peak go south, we could be looking at an early elimination. Instead, we're going to use the shock darts and buy time as that mid-zone controlling Senti.
Wow, buying time? Pretty solid. I mean, when we talk about mid control, they're looking pretty fine with these double Senti, as we said, but wait, look at this aggression. Immediately punished there. Huge opportune moment, but a lot of damage has been dealt. Unfortunately, Sarah, wait, Mars able to get Alexis down, maybe to keep it going. Noya able to get the trades, but it's now a 3v4. YFP is at a disadvantage. We talked about that defensive issue. The second a defender fails, you're putting a big Everest of a mountain in front of your remaining players to try to clean this up.
Corrupt up here on the high ground, gets spotted by the owl drone, and the smoke goes up on Melia. So unfortunately, we've lost one additional player, so it's going to make this in favor of SR, but SR swings together, gets the double execution, and will win out their first attack round.
Wow, first attack round fairly well played. And, you know, when you talk about SR, when you talk about the players that make this team, that the electrifying experience that you have, it's going to be Sarah and Mel in this season, in this series, I should say. Sorry. It's these two players have been always in that kill feed. There's not a round where I haven't seen at least one of them pop off. So looking at this, they're starting off strong. And, you know, I hope that Mel's going to be channeling that Thanos, being able to say all that for a drop of blood. It's a B push time.
Sarah, we're rounding the corner with this outlaw. We're probably going to see... Oh, there's Paranoia. We have Misu fall first and Corrupt. Sarah follows up, taking down 2. Alexis with 2 more. It is just our poor Sova. Amelia will get gunned down in the corner, and that is a quick 5-player takedown for SR.
Absolutely beautifully played by that Deadlock. Just one net was able to catch all of the fish in the sea here, and that is looking clean. YFP, though, they stacked. They didn't buy. They were going for a save. They wanted the round to end fast. It reminds me a lot, if you've been keeping up with the Counter-Strike 2 esports, anytime there is a room for a save round, Counter-Strike players historically will just run it down. So seeing that old CS strat always brings a smile to my face. But now it's going to not be a stacked B site against this team, and looks like mid will be a big object of attraction here for Shopify.
We do have that initial smoke on the opposite side of tiles. We're going to also smoke off the entry point tree. Shooting above the doggy. Standard Odin lineup there for every Sova or KJ player on this map. Which also, I like that being a KJ. Spicing things up a little bit, but not too much, as we're rushing down Catwalk if you're our Omen. Rounding this angle, trying to see if we can clear out the tree. Marceline's still holding up back here towards the spawn, opposite side of Pizza. Might swing into 2 people. Needs to play patient. Swings into 1. Got to take another 1v1, but loses the second fight. Does not get the readjustment in their favor, so we got a 1-for-1 trade in that instance.
Wow, 1-for-1, and honestly, good amount of damage being dealt to both, and now they're swinging out. The cage is going to fall, and unfortunately, so is the Cypher. And look at that, nice Odin. Put that on the ground. That's going to be SR going for a bonus round win here. Only 1 player remaining, and they're sitting in Cubby right now, going all the way through mid. Now, the best case they can do is probably save. Remember, this is their buy round, so
yes,
please save.
I am begging you, Scary Shark. Save. Yes, just play for the exit frag. I respect this play. It is not by any means a player being too scared to go in. It's being smart. This is a 1v3 type of situation. You've got possible paranoia going out on you, smoke, tripwires. It's just not worth it. Oh, and we get spotted by the spy cam anyway. Yeah, not worth it. Gonna use our own smoke as extra cover, because now they know that there's an opportunity to get 1 extra kill if we want to be bloodthirsty. Scary Shark is walking all the way through the attacker spawn and saying, nope, you are not getting me today.
Yeah, at least we did see a pretty successful save. You know, they did spend a little bit of credits on another smoke there, but at the end of the day, solid round here coming out from SR. And yeah, they look like their IGL has definitely got their head in the game, and maybe YFP is going to have to take a timeout. I would reckon a timeout in the next 2 rounds here if they don't manage to change things up pretty soon, and I don't think that's guaranteed when you look at YFP. Let's take a look here. Thank you. Looking at that, that's a lot of sheriffs.
Yeah, and Scary Shark even gave their Phantom over to Marceline on that jet. He uses Tailwind to gain space early to clear out this area and B lobby to recognize, hey, there's no one here. They're going to our hard push on A site, but it was a slow push. They originally were near that lobby zone, but I think heard jet and decided to not go that way.
Oh, wow, good trade out coming out with this. Sheriff gets 2, makes it valuable, and now SR is at a life disadvantage. Unfortunately, we do see a lot of these rifles staying on the ground, guarded by the A site, guarded by these bomb defenders. But can SR be able to stop them? Of course, a big push up. That's going to be Sarah 1, Sarah 2, Sarah 3. But there's Heaven, Marceline, and Marceline falls. Unfortunately for YFP, they are not able to take the round. But dang, did they do that for cheap.
I have money.
I think that was just a jet versus jet type of moment. Plus the crosshair placement was heavily favoring Sarah for a hot second there. I don't know how you live in a 2v1, a 2v3 swing and get that many eliminations, but somehow you did it. So congratulations, Sarah. That's all that really I feel like occurred there was crosshair placement plus we opted not to shoot Sarah first.
Yeah, that's probably a mistake. Don't shoot Sarah. You're going to get shot. This is how it works. But Misu already droning out. Maybe we'll be able to find some information. Knows that the Omen is there thanks to the TP sound. But overall, we are going to be looking at a pretty stacked tree that should be one the wiser. Wait a minute. They know Corrupt. And they're going for it.
Oh, we netted two in Paranoid too, but we're going to respond with the Hunter's Fury to try and take back what was just stolen from us, the lives of our friends. It does not work out.
Here we go. Big spam from the Odin. And yeah, it didn't work out very well, but they were able to just turn that around. Spike now in their hands. How are they going to grab it back? I think, wait, Misu should be able to jumping E grab it. If I'm not mistaken, it's right around the corner. But no, Misu's just going to push right into it. Sova versus Sova. And that's going to be the player Pizza winning it out. But there's Noya, last player standing, 1v4. And to be honest, this is definitely a great round for YFP to take.
30 seconds left.
You see that owl drone coming out from Pizza. I think Noya is going to get spotted. I'm not positive if we're going to see...
Okay, Marcy.
Did Marceline have an up?
If you pick up an op in this set, you will lose it in that round. That is just a now.
Yeah.
That is the new rule, new meta. Pick up a. Well, 5 seconds, no time. Noya most likely going to get pushed after the timer ends by the Cypher. But no, actually just go and allow Noya to save here.
I think if you're YFP, you wanted to finish that round with as many people living as possible, and it wasn't worth the risk of trying to go for the last kill. So I respect the decision. Do I respect the decision to buy an op? No!
Yeah.
Did someone pick it up for you, Marceline? Yes, someone did. I want to see you actually get a kill with it and survive.
Yeah, I mean, ops have been just decorating the floorboards right now. It's not ideal, but I gotta point out, Noya here, 4-0, has yet to die. Let's see how long that's gonna last. I mean, that's something that you don't really see 5 rounds into a game, 4-0, so... Corrupto, this is the player who managed to just set up that last round beautifully. Knows that it might be another push. Instead of playing the net trap because they don't have the Omen, they're just going to be playing around their wall and trying to buy time. But SR, lots of utility has been burned already. No deadlock wall is a big amount of space created for Shopify Rebellion.
Throwing net.
I am getting interested in seeing what occurs over on B site by Garage. We have an Odin just sitting there, seeing if anyone gets a little too forward while the rest of our squad goes through Pizza. And then we have a 1v1 occurring at 3, and Corrupt wins. We see the Annihilation gets used, but there's no one there, Corrupt. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, that's going to be 3 pieces of utility used by this deadlock, and only one was able to actually be shot at. But look at this, Cypher, you're in a cage, and oh my god, you're not locked in. Sarah is going to be able to take it down with the shorty. Spike now planted. Good luck pushing Noya. And now 1 left. Good luck. It's just going to be Marceline, who did pop knives and is instead peeking with the op. And in a 1v3...
Don't grab it. No one grab the op. Just don't. It's a death sentence.
And then they will die.
It is a toy. Yeah. This one's not surprising me.
Needed to happen. And now that it does, let's see what the IGL is going to be saying. Outlaw only, please. Because the Outlaw's been so critical this set. Just buy it. It's cheaper. It'll do 140 damage. If you hit someone in the head, it won't matter. Just buy the Outlaw, because you look at this team and they have money in odd places. You have enough for Melia to be able to buy an Odin, but then Corrupt is pulling out the Outlaw. You have no money on Marceline, nothing in the reserves for Elaborate. I mean, that's nearing my bank account numbers right now. So, I mean, this is not looking the best for YFP. It's understandable why they want to call this timeout, but honestly, they have managed to win a few thrifties, so I could be beating a horse that's going to just win the race.
I think if you're YFP, you commit to a full save here. You don't even buy the Odin. You buy an Ares, if anything. We need to make sure everyone's capable of buying for the next round. No more half buys. We go full thrifty this round, or we just lose with really terrible guns getting left behind. It does not matter. I think getting our economy up first needs to be YFP's focus, as we are in the second quarter of this game here, as we're starting round 7.
Get out of my way!
Second quarter, SR already in a massive just shift in playstyle compared to how they were on Abyss. I think that this does come down to comfort levels. Ascent, a map that every team in just esports, if you're a Valorant team in esports, Ascent is probably your #1 map that you should learn next to Lotus as the second most played. So I don't know. I'm really curious to see how SR's confidence is going to carry them through this game, especially as Noya, by the way, is 5-0 still. So yeah, as long as Noya hasn't died, SR is going to keep their mental very crispy.
Using that Aldron, clearing out standard places did get the one person. Oh, it was Melia that we ended up spotting. Jet gets in, closes the door. There's the Annihilation getting instigated. Location's going to be revealed onto Sarah. Gets hit with that ode, and we see the shock darts come through, barely missing Sarah in that instance as well. 4 of us flooding onto site. We're opting to give it over to someone else. Yeah, we are in the middle of ult, so it's our job to maintain and control space. Here's that deadlock barrier mesh coming in clutch, drastically slowing down YFP on the retake here from this corner.
Ooh, big slowdown, but wait a minute. We got Sarah with knives out, very low, only at 48 HP. But what is this? An ultimate coming out from Mel. This will be a commitment to the flank, but will it be flanked in time as this now defensive team is starting to push in? Very aggro, Scary Shark. That is 1, and there's Alexis getting 1, 2 in lane. Might be able to get a 3rd. Yes, they will. Mel's flank comes through, and the 1-player logs is going to have to get everybody, and unfortunately, they get cut down. Beautiful plays here by the attack side. I was worried about it, but Mel came through.
All right. I'll be honest. I was staring very intently at the mini map when Mel went on that flank. I really wanted to know how successful it was because I thought they got spotted. I really did. There were a couple of moments where I could see the arrow for a couple players from YFP looking in the direction of where Omen was at. Somehow magically they did not manage to see Omen, so it worked out. Now we're going to also look down Catwalk here currently if you are Misu, and pray you don't get punished. 2 outside of Archway at Gen, looking for someone to swing out of tree, but there's multiple flooding into that mid zone, so Sarah finds Marceline, and it's going to be Misu who is in a dangerous, precarious situation, if you will, now, choosing to back up.
Ooh, big backup here, and an ultimate coming out. Everybody is now revealed, and you take a look at that mini-map, and that says, hey, come B. You gotta get onto this site. Similar to that last round, they have all the information, but will they be able to get past all the Cypher util, which I think they already have successfully done. They pulled through, and B is now claimed for Shopify Rebellion, but YFP has the one thing up their sleeve. It's the Hunter's Fury, which now is popped. Might be able to connect to somebody. No damage dealt quite yet, and bomb has been slowed down. 80 damage dealt to the board. This is going to be boots on the ground gameplay. They have to start marching their way back on a B, and it's going to be difficult with how many Odins and how many paper mache walls are on Ascent. What?
How?
What?
I need an instant replay of that shot through the smoke, and we get an elimination onto 1. I mean, it happens to a lot of players. I guess you take it when you can. We have 2 back-to-back trades occurring, so now we're in 2v2, but SR is low on health, and it's just their deadlock left standing. Is this going to be the second round win for YFP? We're in a 1v1, both close in health-wise, and we come through. It's elaborate with the classic right click. It's going to be the victor for that round.
Oh my god. Honestly, I think that round was kind of stolen by YFP. How many of those shots were just walking one tap coming out from Corrupt there? And if that was taking out on Sarah, I mean, that's why they won it. They absolutely cooked with that last retake. And, you know, game sense. It's what lets you kind of see through walls. It's what makes pro players look like they're cheating all the dang time. It's just their game sense is so clean. But in this next round, thank God that timeout was able to maybe balance this team back. Shopify Rebellion, they managed to win this half in quotes. They now have to prove that they can finish it out strong as YFP is starting to mount a comeback.
Marceline looking down top mid, finds Sarah. So that's a one elimination without a trade. We're blind firing down towards Pizza. See if we can find anyone. Sound sensor goes off Corrupt. Use that paranoia. Comes in with the judge. Picks up 2. Tries to use the barrier mesh to get out alive, but can't. But Alexis is now trapped. Oh, Alexis is going to be in a scary situation. Tries to use their own grab mesh to stop anyone from pushing forward.
Ideal for SR, down to pretty much nothing. Does have that ultimate in Deadlock's hands, but Scary Shark spots out one. Gets killed there, Melia. But wait, Alexis can clutch this in a very similar spot from last time, HP-wise, and they are going to commit the ultimate, and it does not connect. Just barely. We see that Cypher get around the corner in time. 20 HP left, and an ultimate will be online here, used up to try to get that info. But Bomb's now on site. And you're not going to be able to contest it. Huge wall.
We're looking at just resources that are available here. I mean, we're giving ourselves away. We absolutely know that Elaborate is looking to go through doorway, is trying to jiggle peek out, use jump peek. Isn't going to see anything because Alexis is comfortably tucked here inside of Hell. And we'll have to see what is going to occur between these two. Never mind, it's Elaborate who's going to be most successful.
Don't you just love the the admins over in the mod chat for this? I love seeing the Misu is raid. Stop asking. But anyways, yeah, E-sub is Misu. But what a great attempt there from Alexis and a beautiful clutch at the end from Elaborate. But at the end of the day, SR is slowing down, and this could be a similar story end game of this first half here. I think that we might be able to see another 6-6 if YFP keeps this momentum up, especially as we do have the Odins really coming out big here.
I'm an Odin enjoyer. The most crazy thing I ever saw on Ascent was players getting very annoyed with the Odin gameplay and opting to all of them play with Odins. I pray that does not happen here today. It should not. Instead, we're going to jump into a smoke with a Guardian. We find one. We ourselves get traded out, but unfortunately, we traded for a teammate that had already passed away if you're on YFP side, so we're down 1 already. Looking for the opportunity to engage with the utility advantage, and Cypher's a little worse for wear, looking to go to the urgent care currently with that health pool for SR, but other than that, SR does have a strong advantage here.
They do, but they are walking into Cypher and Silva, so that advantage can be easily changed thanks to utility if this team knows how to just hold it down. And why hold it down? I mean, hold that left click down. This Odin can just spam right on through. Case in point. Bye-bye, Alexis. Great shot there from Mel, though, to take out all of the util, all the trips. And yeah, the wall bangs. Just keep holding left click. 2v2 now here as we do see Corrupt going for the flank. Might actually just be going for some weapon upgrades, and they do have time to just take their time, regroup. I hope Melia will be playing a little patient now.
Corrupt jiggle peeks not once but twice. Sees the weapons of their fallen comrades on the ground. We're blind firing. We use that annihilation. That's the 3rd annihilation, unfortunately. That has at least told us where people are not. It's still useful information at best. Mel goes for that paranoia. Doesn't land on anyone, and that's YFP finding their 4th round.
Well, honestly, beautifully played there by YFP. I liked what we saw from this Silva. It's just, you know, when you ask me, hey, what are you going to be expecting on this map for Ascent? Well, my guaranteed answer every time is you're going to be seeing Silva, you're going to be seeing Odin, and they're always going to be together. That's what makes this gun used in competitive play. It's because this map made of paper mache. However, YFP now, they are running into a little bit of one thing that I think is going to be a big issue, and that's ultimates are starting to come back for SR.
They are. We have the From the Shadows already locked in. Hunter's Fury as well. Close, but not quite just yet. I'm looking specifically at Alexis with that annihilation. We've not really seen one get turning anyone into a pinata today, but it is giving us useful intel of where people are not. I feel like it's a low enough charge that it's okay to use it and not get anybody with it. Am I wanting to see someone get caught? Yet. Personally, don't have us POVing that individual. Let's be looking at them and have arachnophobia. As we hear from the shadows get used and is going to be instantly turned back off. Unfortunately, Misu will be the first to pass away. Noya following shortly thereafter.
Yeah, but look at Sarah on the site now. Oh, great net. That's just going to give the audio cue that someone has managed to push all the way up, but they need to get that bomb on, but the wall is just too cutting it close. And wait a minute, Mel, while down players, wanted to try to maybe just get an unsecure advantage, and it just doesn't happen, leaving YFP in a huge advantage. Marceline jumps right on over. Noya taken down. Sarah, Marceline, Alexis, everybody's dead. Just at the drop of a hat. Execution.
It was a beautiful timed swing, actually, from Marceline, because we all heard that noise, that little indicator that there is a deadlock sound sensor in that area. And Marceline took the risk after recognizing that their team could swing with them in this moment, because guaranteed concuss if you can hear that, basically. So, took the shot, got the kill, gets concussed, but survives because the other two teammates also swung at the exact same time. Beautifully executed.
6-6. It's on the docket here. Unless we can see Sarah somehow manage to tailwind into close quarter combat with that judge. It's going to be interesting. But I will say, if we may be able to see an orb picked up, Blade Storm can make that judge not so much of an issue. But wait a minute, Marceline's picking up an op.
Get out of my way.
Oh no. Yep, blades are out.
Marceline, please. Please do us justice this time with this operator. I'm begging you.
So they've picked up the orb, used the Blade Storm so they knew that it was going to be A, and now walk into the op mid. Marceline spots one and starts getting a little antsy. Does have their teammate backing them up, and the smoke is a bit too much. Actually, no, the teammate's really using an ultimate to go all the way back to spawn just so you can start peeking over mid. A very unique choice by this Omen.
Double swinging towards tree. The one that's actually leading the charge there is going to be our Jet. We have that spy cam up so we can peek over towards the back of mid. I think it actually just got destroyed. Oh, we're going to see the paranoia and the barrier. The grab net used doesn't work. It's corrupt.
Oh my god, Mars!
Who weren't even looking at Sarah?
Oh my god, the reaction times just being left out in the open. This could be an ace for Sarah. Knives now fully stocked back to the teeth. Can we see the Blade Storm continue this damage? And while you're droning, you get walled off. Now you have to give up your positioning. Both players, Heaven, might be sent to Heaven. An ultimate now online. Does not connect. And there's Sarah. One more for Sarah. And it's an ace for Sarah. YFP will not be tying it up again. It is 5-7.
Switching sides.
I think perhaps, you know, I said before we started this series, I wanted to see if we saw signs of exhaustion. The lack of response from not one, but two. And you can almost guarantee that someone said, Jet is in tree. The fact that neither was checking after their teammate just fell, I think is a sign of that exhaustion kicking in.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, it could also be communication. There should have been somebody saying something, but I think the focus from Marceline with that op was just, if I can get the kill, if I can get a kill, I can get out. I can make it worth it. Because realistically, flicking onto that Jet, you would have just been shot from my main. I understand it, but the fact that there wasn't even a flinch, it was just death.
Speaking of death, Marceline and Sarah have both met their untimed quick undoing. So we have multiple players pushing in towards Archway at mid, backing off, managing to survive by the skin of their teeth, especially that Omen from SR. It's Mel, who, despite having 15 health, will round the corner anyway and take down Melia.
Wow. It's just great picks. And oh, Misu grabbing Corrupt down. We'll be able to spawn out one, but oh, and that's going to be a YFP player down. Last player gets 189. Misu, great game sense, and that's what we wish we saw 2 rounds ago. But now with YFP again losing that pistol round, again feeling that pressure, SR proving themselves to be quite good at the Ascent fundamentals.
I mean, both teams, I feel like, are pretty good at the Ascent fundamentals. I just think some of the combos that we're getting from YFP, they're relying too heavily on the dynamic duo-ness of their comp that it lends into with the ability usage. So when it comes to just the straight, raw aim fights, that's where they're losing.
Yeah, it is just raw aim, and that might come down to the seniority of SR. I mean, cold take, best team in NA when it comes to GC. So, I mean, they should be able to keep this fight up. And here comes Alexis wanting to prove it with this stinger. I respect her. Never mind. Never mind. Double for Corrupt. Corrupt's getting away with too much.
Yeah, I don't think that was the proving grounds we wanted to experience for them, unfortunately. But Sarah, peeking down here, yes, has the Outlaw. Good choice, Sarah. We've seen you very successful with the Outlaw as of late. We've not seen success with anyone with the Operator. Next time I'm gonna literally keep a tally of how many ops we have in the grand finals and how many actually survived. Melia with the Spectre rounding in towards Log. There is one other opponent on this map who's pining in this area who could work out in their favor, and that is Marceline coming in, finds Mel. Now we're in a 2v2 situation. Never mind. Sarah with the headshot on Marceline. We're in a 1v1 now after Melia with the classic finds Sarah.
Oh, the timing might... No, the timing wasn't there. But 59 HP versus full. This is favoring this Cypher. Can we see Noya clutch it up? And yep, they spot it. Bye-bye. Headshot, making it look easy. Picking up the Outlaw better than the Op. That survives the round. SR honestly took a lot of damage there. So this is going to be a pretty much guaranteed failed bonus if you look at the track record between these two.
All right. Now is where I think if you're YFP, you need to start rethinking how we're executing things here. Soon as SR, I'm going to say it now, SR is likely to win this round.
Yeah.
They have gun advantage, shield advantage.
You
their
mean FYP?
economy. Oh yeah, sorry. FYP is guaranteed to win this round, not lose this round. But I think if you're SR, you have to start getting worried because you are going to be at that point where if things don't work in our favor, our economy is going to be very hard to deal with, and we have to have solid buys. We have that paranoia go out both sides. Marceline is going to round back around the corner. Actually, Tailwind is just choosing to use it to run away. I agree with this with what is being done here, but also SR not going too far forward. Smart on them. We saw them previously opt to go all the way in, and take too long also can be your own Achilles heel.
Let's see it though. Let's see if they have Achilles in mid though. Elaborate. Yep, getting that down. Scary Shark getting 2 on the point. 3 done. Beautifully played. FYP just executing a rather poor SR team, and that's fine. SR knew what they were doing. They got the bomb plant, and that's all you want to do.
They wanted to end the round as quickly as possible when their economy's looking that bad. Don't prolong the suffering if you don't think it's worth it, honestly. But I do like seeing teams that try a little to get a little creative on their economy rounds. I know that you mentioned CSGO, so I will mention it too. We don't always just need to throw ourselves at the first enemy grenade we see.
I mean, it'd be neat though.
Oh my.
It'd be neat. Honestly, I do find the differences between these two teams to be quite heavy, but I like when they just line up so beautifully. And talk about line up so beautifully. Marceline doing that to Alexis is just insanity to me.
My territory.
Well, Corrupt also does it to Mel. Here's the Annihilation. Does it land on anyone? No, I think it hit a barrier mesh, actually.
Yep. Bouncing, and there we go. Everybody on B has fallen, leaving this to be a 2v4 retake. Shopify, deep breaths, you're gonna need it. Walking onto this site, I assume that you most likely are gonna be going for a save, as yeah, last round was a pretty chunky bonus, and yeah, that would explain it. An op in the hands of Sarah definitely gives us the reason for it. But YFP, they're fine with this. They get more rounds, they get the game a little closer, and they should be all right to move into this next round with a full buy. Everybody's on their team looking fine, and ultimates have been saved pretty well, I would say.
Are we going to get our first executioner with the operator here on an exit? Oh no,
Oh wait.
Look at the omen. Look at where our Cypher's currently standing.
All right, well, let's see if they're going to be able to get a kill here in Gelato. Yep, that's free for Noya, and a little bit of a detriment to FYP, or YFP. They're able to just take it anyways, so pretty solid. However, the Op has stayed alive, Noya's Phantom has stayed alive, but where is the rest of their team's money?
The answer is it got ate by the bank. This is the Great Depression. I mean, we've seen players pop off with these Frankenbuys. I have no doubts that we could see a lot of success with the judge, or with a Bucky. But when you're going for those, it's very patient playstyle and very heavily util based. Will that be thwarted immediately by having, unfortunately, losing Misu so early to a Hunter's Fury beaming down? But we also take down Marceline by using well-placed tripwires, not waiting to see if there's any in. The standard engagement's going to get thwarted.
Absolutely beautifully played, and the Ops connect, and Noya keeps it going. Oh my god, Noya is single-handedly holding down this B site, allowing now Sarah to pop the knives and get the distance crossed, but no! Gets taken out by Elaborate. Clean picks, and wait a minute. Noya spots him, shots him, sprays him, and dies. Leaves only one left, Mel. Just needing to give up their positioning, needing to fight this Sova, and oh, that's going to be a guaranteed wallbang.
I mean, there is no hope once your location is revealed and you're that close. You're also sitting inside of the area that's got, as you put it best, papier-mâché walls. Against an Odin? This is scary. I mean, if you're YFP, you peek together, you should be okay. Peek together strong, but the issue is that we're so low on health now that we have to try to peek perfectly. And considering Mel doesn't have util that causes damage, honestly, you could just play for the tap. To the covered, but no, we're gonna use the spike cam. We're gonna advantageously swing first, do with the unexpected, and that's going to be another round win for YFP. And I mentioned it when we only had, I think it was 6 round wins. Yeah, 6 rounds in favor of YFP. If YFP wins that one, SR is gonna have to start getting worried, and now they're worried.
Wow, they're worried they're going to call a timeout. We actually might be seeing another tied game. YFP, they just know how to bring the comebacks here. The second that they get rifles in hands, or sorry, let me rephrase. The second they have an Odin in hand, they're able to do so much right now. So looking at SR, deep breaths here. We're seeing some very slight misplays. I mean, trying to get the fraction of a second faster by whipping your knife out while pushing in, things like that, just weapon switch timings, things that are fundamental to the game, things that are so habitual to these players, has been adding up. It's been biting them in the back here. So a good called timeout here might be able to help them focus on the little things, because this is a big moment for them getting that qualifier.
I think if you're the coach right now, it's not so much mentioning those things. It's telling your team to calm down, telling your team to breathe. You got this. Don't play into the complacency that some teams experience. Just remind them, focus on your fundamentals. You can handle this, and hope for the best.
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, I think they have a lot of hope in this team. Obviously, they're a team that, and at the end of the day, the circuit points alone from just being able to get to second place, I think they get 33 circuit points, which puts them very far ahead of most other teams here. These two teams will be meeting each other again at the grand finals of the Game Changers Challenger Series. So I'm pretty excited here.
I mean, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they will be. So with that in mind, it's just kind of like who gets minor bragging rights early on and who has to earn the bragging rights later is what this comes down to. But respect where it's due. If you're YFP, you've been playing for almost 3 hours straight, I think, at this point. And that's a lot to ask from any team. The fact that they have pulled this back and are within 1 round of equalizing this, I need to give respect to nonetheless. But you also know that anytime a team calls a timeout, both teams get that timeout. I think YFP has also adapted slightly. They're slowing down. They're forcing a little bit more util than we got to see on Abyss, and I like it.
Yeah, I'm loving what we're seeing right now. So with this team, with both of these teams, I was not anticipating as close of a matchup here, to be honest with you, just based on roster alone. But it's not about roster. It's about team play. It's about synergy. It's about ultimates. It's about the Hunter's Fury getting one, but there's Scary Shark getting one too. And there's the third, thanks to Amelia. Huge opportunity, and they still won B. They still have to get past Alexis. 20 seconds, a blind misses. A player does not die. Elaborate. Hits him with the jump check.
Shot down.
And now, what I think Shopify was worried about come to fruition. We are tied 9-9. Do not guarantee an overtime just yet, but with this being Abyss, I would not be surprised. Shopify opting and having really no choice but to go for an extremely heavy save round. We even have one person, Misu, looking at, can I buy something else? Can I buy that Marshall? And no, we have to just go with Deagles. 4 of us have to.
Oh, and another sniper down mid, and a flick from Marceline. Triple kill. 1, 2, 3. Get the 4th. Won't be able to finish the job, but dang, is that a good showcase for this team. Unfortunately, it's now a 2v2 for both ends. The battle, the smoke has just shifted, and they're now going back onto A. Honestly, what an explosive start. We still have a minute 15 left here.
And now the other two are forced to rotate quickly over from the opposite site, both looking to engage in through tree. I mean, they have the more powerful weapons. I think also the economy right now does favor YFP to the extent that they could just opt to, leave the zone and wait to play for tap, but we are so deep in that disengaging if we miss these initial shots onto one of the defenders trying to take back the site is going to cost us their lives, as Marceline is in a grab mesh right now, and thankfully SR is going to be able to pull it back in their favor, having picked up those better weapons and getting those eliminations, putting themselves as the first team to hit double digits here.
Yeah, and that's got to hit the YFP mental quite a bit there. I mean, Marceline getting a triple kill, and then you have 2 players being able to finish and clean up the entirety of that round. I mean, shout-outs to SR, shout-outs to Alexis here, who also was able to defuse. So now ultimates are back in their hands. SR just with 1 thrifty may be able to get back that momentum we saw them build up in that first half. So an amazing play style there. Now you look at this setup, the Deadlock Sova combo. We've been seeing this pop up all over, but it is scary how much damage they can do.
I think it's damage in conjunction with the amount of time those 2 agents are able to buy, either by themselves or together, and then combining intel integration plus when an enemy makes too much noise, Deadlock identify it, being able to stop it, concuss someone from doing it, which can be punished. It's just so, the amount of information that's gathered from these 2 is disgusting.
Wow. Looking at this, though, they're leaving the spike behind. They're taking it slow. This is very default heavy. How much utility has been used? Not a whole lot. We're waiting for really just information to be gathered, but now it's time to shine. Great camera usage. We do see an op already low, and there's Sarah, the first blood of the round. Now getting one down, may be able to find another one. It's going to be scary. Oh, it's going to be close, and it's going to be Scary Shark lurking up and getting the pick. Another 2 pieces down, though, for SR. Marceline pushes in, gets a clean spray down, and we're even seeing the Deadlock ultimate come through, but it does not connect.
It's just more information at this point. Elaborate.
30 seconds left.
Gets netted as well as spotted with the recon bolt. And Cypher now using that arrow, figuring out where everyone is currently standing. The 2 blips are gone, but your relative trajectories are known. So best of luck. Information is very powerful in this game. As we see everyone congregating over towards the B site. It's 10 seconds remaining. YFP has no choice but to go for the plant.
Player standing.
Ooh, what a shot from Alexis, and the spray will come through, but the flick, unfortunately, only good for 1 here, as SR will be turning this around here. And now the scoreline 9-11, as SR is 2 away from taking the second map and bringing us to a map 3 for that potential reverse sweep. But here's the thing about YFP. They should have enough ultimates here to still make something work and slow down SR, as I think that they have it in them to maybe take this entire set just this game.
I have no doubt in their ability to do so, but I really do think that the longer this team plays, the more it is going to play into SR's favor. I'm hitting the point where I'm getting concerned about the energy levels of these players, and so if YFP ends up winning it and closing out here in a 2-0 sweep, I want to ask, how did you stay awake? How did you stay fully energized for this? As we hear that Blade Storm being the first thing getting popped, Annihilation's soon to follow, and it's our first confirmed Annihilation hit. Someone gets turned into a pinata. We help our teammates advance and survive, and follow up Sarah with the op finds 1. Misu finds 2, but then Melia finds 2 as well.
Oh no, Opping Cypher stuck in lane. Opping Cypher all alone. Oh, Opping Cypher 36 HP. One flick can make it work, but this is going to be match point advantage unless we see probably the best op in the history of Valorant. Taking it slow. Oh, and the smoke.
Oh no.
No chance. No chance.
Oh, and if we round this corner too far, we're gonna get spotted by the people on the off angle. Oh, is this a... Nope. I really thought that Cypher fully turned around.
Goodbye.
We get 1, but there's 2 there about to round the corner. Oh, yep, and I don't think that second op is going to get... There's 2 ops on the ground currently, I think. We're at match point for SR. I unfortunately think that this is going to be the end of Ascent. If I'm wrong, but I really think that SR has Ascent in the bag.
Yeah, and even if they don't have it in the bag in this next round, they will have it in overtime, guaranteed. Their confidence on the defense, I think, is a little bit more, and when you consider that this is a mirrored matchup, it goes to the better team. And right now, on Ascent, SR is that better team. That's been proven. I mean, you have Mel here, 15 assists, 14 kills, 15 deaths, almost a clean 15-15-15 coming out from Mel. It beautifully played. And, you know, you talk about the Mel on the other team, 14-14-11. I mean, the supporting roles have been filled beautifully by these two teams, but at the end of the day, it's the duelists that have to come out on top. And when you compare Marceline to Sarah, Sarah has just been so dang consistent. Marceline has popped off, but consistency is key.
Most definitely. I mean, the numbers don't lie in this instance. 15 eliminations to 24 eliminations does speak volumes. And it would be a little more worse. I mean, if the rest of Sarah's company in this instance did not already have double digits and was encroaching on that 20 kill mark themselves, it'd be a little concerning. But with everyone being around 15 or less on YFP, that's really where it starts to become an issue.
Yeah, I do think that we're going to be seeing a little bit of a problem here going into this next round, and that's Sarah pushed up with an op. So, yeah, that's not a repeat of Abyss, but wait, the Hunter's Fury, can it connect, can it finish? No, it does do a lot of damage though, and Sarah is now hitting real low with that, but Sarah doesn't care if they've been hit 80, swings on in, gets the shot anyways, Corrupt, clean headshot down, and unfortunately, SR still holds control of Boathouse. Oh, this blind. Timing perfect. Spots both. They're panicking. They're just running, gunning. And it's over.
Defenders win.
Direct and hunted.
Wow. Honestly, what we saw from that game, I was shocked that we saw YFP able to just front a comeback time and time again. But I gotta ask, Nerdy Bird, what were your thoughts about YFP in that game? I mean that I talked about consistency, but YFP, they were up, down, and sideways.
I genuinely feel like YFP is hitting a wall perspective, like hitting the wall here. They did really well during the first half. I mean, yeah, they were down, I want to say at the worst point in time, it was 0-5, but they brought it back, and then it went 9-9. But unfortunately, when that 9-9 hit, we had that timeout. We had another timeout happen in favor of Shopify, and I think the adjustments that came through were really what shined for them. And when we pulled up, I was mainly paying attention on the economy, but when we looked at the kill feed, when we looked at the kill counts, looking at the amount of facilitation for the duelist, for Sarah versus Marceline, and really, when you have one duelist on your team, your job is to support that individual, and the support was heavily in favor of Sarah. I think that's what the difference maker was.
Yeah, I mean, the support being Mel alone, 15 assists, maybe even ended on 16 there. Just beautifully played. You got to shout out both of these two teams, though. I think that we saw when you can enable a two separate duelists, when it's a mirror matchup, it comes down to fundamentals. When it's a mirror matchup, it comes down to a better team and team play. Who's got more experience here on this map? Who has more experience with each other? Handedly goes over to SR. So now that we get into our final map, I do believe that it is going to be Haven. It's going to make things a little bit different. You know, we're back on this map for the first time in a while for these players, and I think that Haven is a point where you're not going to have as much support plays because everybody's going to be spread thin a bit on the defense. So let's hope that we can find out what's going to happen here. But with that being said, Nerdy Bird, I can't wait for that, but I know our analysts are going to have to take a little bit of their shots at what they think here. So we'll send it back.
That, I mean, just, we saw Shopify Rebellion bleed. They brought it back. They got the medicine that they needed. They put the medics on. The bandage was there. It was starting to slip up a little bit, and you know they took a timeout. Effie's was like, "All right, I'll come here," and wrapped up that boo boo. And now we're back at it again. This is kind of what we expected, but gosh, they bled a lot there. I mean, 9-13 does make a really competitive scoreline between these two teams. And Angel, I'm excited to see Haven. I'm talking about a lot of stuff. Let's reel it back though. I'm all over the place. That was insane.
Yeah, no, Haven is going to be exciting, and just what we saw on Ascent, this is the Shopify that we were expecting coming into this match, right? So, you know, talking a bit more about Ascent, I think we all want to touch on the Alexis ace, or not the Alexis ace, the Sarah ace at the very end of half number 1, because not only was it just vaguely impressive from the mechanic standpoint, but also there was really brilliant utility usage that allowed Sarah to... There was really brilliant utility usage that allowed Sarah to get this ace against YFP at the end of the first half. And that's what we're covering right now. So you can see this was the position that these players were in going into kind of the mid round or the late round of the last round of the first half, with YFP being the defense, you have the attack being SR. And so you can see immediately Mel's call, I'm going to use my blind to blind up this deadlock that's jiggling tree, and then we're going to go and funnel tree after this, right? Now the deadlock, being very smart, throws down the grav net over towards Catwalk, it, you know, trying to prevent any sort of run up off the back of the paranoia so the deadlock can retreat safely. But brilliant quick thinking by Sarah not only pops the Blade Storm, but also dashes beyond the grav net to find the kill onto the deadlock. And also at the same time, there's a Hunter's Fury that gets used by Misu to also confirm that kill, and eventually the deadlock does go down. And then after that, Sarah's like, well, I'm just gonna go now overheat into heaven. Does exactly that. The Hunter's Fury shifts focus here. There's also a smoke that Mel puts up in the top of heaven to force Scary Shark to swing through that smoke. And by the time that Scary Shark falls to Sarah here, alongside what also could have happened with the Hunter's Fury, Marceline is also caught completely off guard. And that was 3 kills in the matter of like 5 seconds. That all goes the way for Shopify. And look at those last 2 players. Look at where they are. They are completely on the opposite side of the map. Yeah. So there's no way they're going to realistically be able to win that 2v5 in time.
A site's empty.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming from there they hit the site.
They plant. They win the round, and that was how that half ended 7-5 with the round advantage going to SR. And that kind of coordination, that level of utility, where not only do you have the firepower, but also the really deep coordination, is what makes SR such a scary team. And it's like, yeah, you slipped up a little bit on Abyss, but when you have Ascent, and then now we're going into SR's like favorite map of this qualifier of Haven, I mean, this is a tee up for them to take this game. The only sticking point is that YFP also just happened to play Haven a little bit earlier today up against Oomfies, and that game looked really, really solid for YFP. So that's like the one little bit of saving grace, but overall, I think you and I are in the same boat where we're expecting an SR win.
I mean, I kind of, is it weird that I want to, like, I think SR is going to win, but I don't think it's going to be 13-9, because we've seen multiple 13-9s. I think there's, like, a lot of potential for either a sweep or overtime. Like, it doesn't feel like feast or famine, but it also feels like these teams have been a little bit tired. And I'm just gonna say this, like, Nerdy Bird got what they wanted. They kind of wanted a longer game, and they got exactly that. So we're gonna, I kind of also want to see either a long game or one dominant win here. And a part of me wants just like to root for the underdog, because YFP to take down, you know, Shopify Rebellion, just like, you know, we saw FlyQuest take them down. It would be a really funny storyline. But statistically, you gotta look at the statistics. They haven't dropped a single map this tournament. Shopify Rebellion is extremely comfortable on Haven. They are most likely gonna take, you know, a little beat here and have some coordination. I think victory for them is very much like accurate.
I would absolutely agree. The only thing that I'm concerned about is, again, what does YFP's response to this look like? And then also, we're going on to Haven, and this is, I think, one of the maps where it's more structured for SR, and they have a bit more of a game plan. And so if YFP can actually overpower that, then things look great.
Well, with that, we're going to send it to the casters. We're going to see how YFP can play. Edu and Nerdy Bird, take it away.
Wow. Well,
Go ahead. I'm just giggling at
yeah, I love nerds. Nerds is my I love nerds. I love Ancient. Great analytics. That's great analyst. But Nerdy Bird, I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay, what's up?
I heard Ancient say that they thought that this was definitely favoring Shopify Rebellion. Do you agree?
No, I don't agree. And I say that because I have seen, they can bleed, obviously, but the gods bled before, and this isn't my first rodeo with a team that is like such a powerhouse that you think is going to win. I mean, obviously, they've had a dominant showing across the board through our entire unofficial broadcast series here that we've done, but the most trouble that they have been given has been in this series. And this is up against a team that had to fight tooth and nail to make it here, go through that second chance bracket, and come back here. I mean, they are hungry for a victory, and I feel like sometimes those underdog teams have just more of a beast inside of them to overcome, to not be scared by the fact that this is a squad that is like, you know, number one, favored to win. They're like, no, we went through trials and tribulations to be here, and we're going to show you why we deserve to be here. I mean, they took Abyss. They got very close to equalizing on Ascent, and now we're moving into Haven, a map where I feel like, yes, you have the wombo combo setups that we saw on Ascent that came from specifically YFP, but I feel this is the opportunity to not only let our Jet lurk more, let our Cypher do some lurking, but to really show off what you can do in 1v1s, because we're going to have a lot more of those here. And while we struggled with that on Ascent, I think in this situation where the opportunity to get, I'm going to pull a term from Apex, get third party basically, which is a late show up from someone else to kill you, is a little less likely to happen. I think YFP might actually be more successful here.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it does come down to the individual players on a map like Haven. It comes down to those lurkers. And what we saw with the double sentinels, we saw some people just coming in a little bit late, but they're doing so much with it. And looking at this, it is a mirrored comp again. It is the exact same back and forth. So now we are also seeing a little bit of a shift though. Scary Shark was on controller, now on initiator. A little bit of a role swap here for this player, and same with Corrupt, going from a sentinel back onto initiator. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this team is able to connect here. But with everything in mind, I'm really excited to see if our predictions are right. Who's going to be coming out on top? Who's going to show themselves to be the team that deserves to qualify for the Valorant Game Changers?
We saw ample breach util getting pushed out through B main, and honestly, I feel like you either do attack your first round, but after that, you really don't until both teams are heavy ecoing or we're at the round swap, because of just the ability to reconvene and converge onto that site. You play for retakes predominantly there, so I'm a little shocked that we dumped util there in any capacity, honestly. But I guess it is breach, and that's just how Blues play. Is we have Corrupt to go for the swing. Noi goes down. Mel goes down. Now YFP is currently up by 2.
Wow, up by 2 already early in, and we saw on Ascent that this is a map that goes to somebody else, but look at that. Elaborate continues it with Sarah, the Tailwind never being their friend. Elaborate with the triple kill now finds just one remaining, and that is going to be Alexis. The flawless will come through with YFP. First pistol round of the old school maps.
I need to set back up.
All right. I don't think major adjustments for YFP need to be made, but if you're SR, what do you think is going through their minds right now?
Honestly, with SR, I think... Sorry, that camera. Anyway, with SR, what's going through their minds right now is, okay, we're losing our edge, okay? So what is the fastest way to sharpen themselves back up? And I think what the main idea there is we need rifles. The second we get rifles back in, that's where we're not seeing anything, not light armor, not a sheriff, not anything to get in. And honestly, it's also going to be down to this lurking play that I was talking about. I want to see this Jet, I want to see the Cypher be able to really make a lot of space for this team.
Sarah's aware of this tripwire, is opting to wait for their team to do an execution elsewhere to kill it. And I think you said it best, but I also, the one thing that I think SR needs to do here is get as much out of YFP as possible. Make them spend a bunch of utility. And right now they're doing just that, but we've not gotten any kills, and we just jiggle me. Elaborate knows you're there.
Oh no.
And with the peek to the other side knows the pinch is happening. Elaborate is a nowhere for YFP. Saw through it. I don't think that was as successful eco. I mean, yes, they lost. We were basically guaranteed to concede that round if you SR, but they did not get as much util out of YFP as I think they'd hoped.
They didn't get the util. They didn't get the bomb plant. They didn't even bother getting any kills. SR, you know, you asked me what they're thinking, and I think that they're stressed. I think that this is a moment where they have to say to themselves, are we Shopify Rebellion? Are we the people who are the favored seed? Or are we going to be taking home circuit points today? That's the real question. I want to see more, but elaborate. This player alone, 6-0 in these first two rounds, have been coming out swinging, and I really do hope, for SR's sake, that they keep that energy. I want SR to be challenged here in the qualifiers. I want them to find something that is going to say, we need to work on things.
Well, Shopify, it's Doya, managing to pick up 2. Unfortunately, we did lose 2 for SR as well. And Elaborate, the bald man is out, drops down the neural theft to make sure we maintain this one agent advantage. Mel, though, after the second blip, has decided to shadow step into heaven. This could actually be huge. I think, yep, Marceline's read you like a book and turned the page. He's looking at Alexis now. Will we also be able to read you just the same? Well, Alexis going for the pop fire into heaven. Might be able to get the spike down, but I don't think SR will win this round in a 3v1 situation.
Especially when you have Cypher in your back line about to flank quite soon. So get the bomb plant, get the bomb plant, get the bomb plant. Just kidding, there might be a Cypher already around the corner. Yes, we'll get it down, we'll spot it, but not even getting the omen. So the 3v1 becomes a 3v9, and YFP winning the bonus round, walking away with double AK, full armor on the Bulldog, 0 deaths on 3 players. 2 people have died on the side of YFP in 3 rounds.
Marceline, we don't need to hit the gritty on the spike. Okay, we got the defuse. I think you're right. SR is getting a little worried. They're getting a little jittery. I also was thinking, you know, Abyss might have been a little bit of complacency, because I was even hyping them up. I was thinking SR has this in the bag. They've done so well. Yes, YFP has done well as on this map too, but SR had insane victories on that map, and to have that loss, then they transition into Ascent. Things get dangerously close. They start bringing it back. They finally become successful. But Haven, I think at this point in time, they're not just stretched thin mentally, they're stretched thin on the map too, so they have to dedicate more agent power into one location than they want to because of the pressure that YFP is creating.
Yeah, there's so much pressure that YFP has just been able to just put down, but I mean, what do you do to relieve that pressure? Unfortunately, you're gonna have to shoot these players, and that's just not happening. When it comes to just a fundamental aim skill, they've been getting taken down. That last round was rifles versus a bonus, and it just did not happen. So, with that being said, you are looking at a big catch up here from this team of YFP, and Marceline keeps it going. Bye-bye to Misu, bye-bye to Mel. And Corrupt will be able to be not good for 2 here, but it keeps going.
One enemy enemy remaining.
Oh, Noi going down to Marceline. Probably had assumed they were safe, not thinking there was two poised up on A site. That was tragic.
Yeah, tragic, but honestly, SR, they did go into that round expecting that they were going to be able to have this round be their actual bye, and with a timeout to boot, again, you brought up a big point that I always say every timeout is a timeout for one team is a timeout for the other. That's 60 seconds both sides, and one team really doesn't need it. I mean, I think that they're just using this time to keep their mental up. I can tell that they're going high energy here. Elaborate probably being there, just happy to already have used an ultimate for one. Marceline, flawless all the way up to their ults. They have everything they need, but what do you think SR needs?
I think if you're SR, honestly, we need to slow down more. We are challenging without using util, which, yeah, blind swinging a corner, if you're willing to double swing now, is what we've noticed. Is not like you need to, if you're going to blind swing, you need a double swing. You need to go not by yourself. Blind swinging is a guaranteed death sentence unless you're lucky enough to not have someone there. But you need to start predicting these sort of placements. YFP is being very good about claiming space without spending util for it, so they do it early and then they disengage quicker than what we have seen from SR when they know that they are in a situation that is not advantageous for them. I also like what we have Corrupt doing here, leaving the Outlaw over in the corner, so I get two options after I round this angle and get information for my team is great to see.
Honestly, great util usage early into this game already, but I'm looking at Elaborate. Oh, that is going to be a big catch there. It actually does not manage to get the kill, but they're pincered. They're stuck here in the tubes. And no way do they get out. Marceline managing to survive, but wait a minute. High ground time. Hello. There's two. There's Elaborate keeping their KD clean. Might be able to find another one, but not quite yet. There it is. The trades finally come through. People are finally starting to fall. 3v3. It's Alexis on the board. But Mania gets it down. It's the push up. Oh, no way. They are desperate for this win. They're sending everything to this one player. And the bomb's still ticking away. Still has time. Alexis on the board. Now, top frag.
Finally, SR, after the much-needed timeout, manages to get one up. Now, I think we had two players left standing, unfortunately, for SR at the end of that round. If you're YFP, your bank accounts are pretty fine, so it was okay to lose that one. But yeah, if you're SR after that round, this is a type of buying on the edge is the best way I can describe it. There is no buying for next. They're buying, and then if they lose, they have to hard eco next round, which would be tragic.
Ooh, wait a minute. Hard eco, though. Will that even happen? If you look over at the setup here, look at how much space is being taken over by C-Long. Things like that. Things like the op in the hands of Marceline being able to take out the player. Now you're seeing that SR, they have to commit to A or they're going to be completely flooded here. So Sarah dashing on a site, comboed with the flashbang. It's not enough, and the TP's not enough either. Oh, scary. Thought that they got the one tap down. Unfortunately, switched too soon. Misu's able to get the trade, makes this a 2v3, but the flank is still online, and this team is fully geared. They got the drone coming in. They got the util to retake this. All they have to do is just play together.
So we managed to use that owl drone to tell us exactly where the players are not, and that limits basically where they're going to be standing. That means hiding behind Tetris. Inside Heaven, we do see Misu gets one elimination, but there's two left standing for YFP, and that's another round win. And now looking at SR, that means it's a hard eco round. They have a few ults online, which will help. But I'm not positive it's going to be enough to really prevent another round loss. Hunter's Fury, great. You can stop the spike plant. Neurotheft, we can't do anything with until we get a kill. So we basically, even when your name is lit up, it says it's ready to go. You still need one more ult orb in the form of a corpse. And that's the one bad thing about that ultimate, I think, is the necessity of killing someone. It does have to be your own kill, though, which is great.
Yeah, and, talking about the necessity of kills, let's talk about Mel here. This is somebody who has been popping off. Same with Sarah. They're both just not hitting the same as they had, and I think they're getting fatigued here just from being a little bit pushed back by YFP. Even though they were able to take that last map, I think they put a lot of their assets into it. But SR, mirror matchup, knows how to turn this around, needs to start with Sarah. Entering in through the smoke, the flashbang's perfect, but the aim will be slowed back. And there it is, the util usage, and Scary gets 2. 3v2 again, but in the favor of SR this time.
And SR hits that neuro theft YFP used from the shadows just to get closer. And we have seen this exact same spot from our Omen on YFP multiple times. Like, this is our favorite entry point for this map, honestly, for retake. And the paranoia goes through. It's good. Can we find the follow-up kill? We do. So now we're in a 2v2. We need one more kill, and then you swing together and play for the trades. We drop down from the heavens above, and that is going to be a clean retake for the 2v3, not favoring YFP.
2v3, not favoring, not fatal. No one died for YFP. Insanity that SR was not able to hold their own there, but I understood that they were at a weapon disadvantage. But by then, you should have found guns, you should have found rifles, you should have been able to bring that firepower. The potency is not in the favor of in the favor of SR. And YFP, they're looking fine. 2 ultimates were used: the neural theft, the Hunter's Fury, and now YFP's geared to the teeth again. So, I mean, Nerdy Bird, YFP is looking flawless here.
I mean, earlier, I said I think YFP might have this in the bag. Granted, we're not far enough in for that to be a guarantee. But right now, they're doing a fabulous job. I love seeing it. We've seen a lot of commitment to A site from SR. I think it's about time we change things up. We're going to go with the lurk. No lurk, actually. We're going to have one person kind of inch their way towards C site to try to pull a little bit of attention. The Owl Drone's going to tell people, yes, Sova is here. Mel, honestly, I thought we'd committed to that, and I got a little scared. Thankfully, we did not. Jet gets caught in a tripwire, so their full location for Sarah gets revealed. We're walking into the smoke blind, and Mel is going to punish that against Malia. Uses our own smoke to teleport into. It's kind of able to be read, but I'm not positive if anyone heard it, as the Rolling Thunder is also being instigated at the same time. So we have Elaborate go to... Ooh, Marceline, I'm looking.
Stops the bomb plant. And then you have an Odin getting a kill. Oh my god, Marceline weaving through, but wait, they're lining up! And they're shut down 1v1. Marceline's off. Has to find this pick and will get spotted. Baits it out. Oh, the shot. Spike's there. Noya. Oh my, yes, a good clutch. SR needed that so bad. Thank God. 1v3, clutching it up. Actually, technically 2v3, but Noya just cleaned house there.
Well executed, Noya.
I have money if you need.
Honestly, there was well done things on both sides. I mean, Marcy dropped in the opting to pick up a different weapon on the ground, which is what SR failed to do over on A site just around prior, which was dropping your lower quality weapon for a better weapon. Now, I'm not saying the up is low quality, but in a close quarters 1v1, it's not advantageous to continue to try and hang on to it. You could have won the round, picked it back up. Instead, we hear that Blade Storm instigated. Marceline still with an op is going to shut down the opportunity for Spycam to work, but 2 people get flashed. Sarah is engaging quickly, uses that tailwind. Here comes that Rolling Thunder once again, coming up from sewers. Mel uses that paranoia. I think it landed on 1. Yes, on Corrupt. Just getting CC'd to heaven right now, but manages to get a 3K.
Wow, at least we have Sarah with the Blade Storm to maybe find some trades back from that beautiful play by Corrupt. But wait a minute, Sarah, no dash high ground means that they have to just inch their way onto the site. The bomb will get planted for safe, just tapped for safe, I should say, as unfortunately a whole minute is left, but there's nowhere to run. You are stuck on this site, and you are facing against a team that has had full domination of this half. And here comes the legs, here comes the footman to try to get onto the point.
I know exactly where you are.
Neuro step on both sides, with Sarah with the 2 beasts, and Noya managed to pick up Marceline. That's a secure plant now. Finally, SR halfway to YFP's score, showing signs of life here on Haven. I do really think that timeout made such a huge difference for them. Now YFP is looking broke for the first time here on Haven.
Thanks.
Wow, absolutely beautiful. And now Shopify, they found their passion back. They're not 0-3. They're not 0-4. They're managing to really start to turn this around. Everybody's getting the kills they need. The utility usage has been absolutely clean in that last round, thanks to Mel. You talked about CC dumping, and yeah, we saw that for sure. But now, wait a minute. Marceline no longer has that op in hand, is freely allowed to push up C, freely allowed to make a lot of space here for this team, and that should be pointing all the fingers towards the B site. So we're seeing a big focus on this point.
We do have a little bit of a hesitancy from our attacking squad of SR to push up towards sewer or even A main right now. I think they actually are assuming that there is still an operator possibly in play, but I'm pretty sure that we're a little too broke for that op buy, and we can't share credits in this game. We can only buy weapons for one another.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't just, all pull them together into one nice, good mutual fund. But what we do get is a little bit of a swing here and a miss. What? Marshall dipping Mel. Massive shot there from Scary Shark, and that will allow this team to back it up. And of course, they now push in. I like the angle that we see for this team, but FYP has more than enough time to go for flanks, more than enough time to regroup, grab their bearings, and figure out how they want to retake this site.
This is a well-done job from our breach. Unfortunately, I think I cast or cursed you, Scary Shark, but use that initiator util just to hold off the attackers for as long as possible to get your team to rotate back into position. But Noya coming back after hearing that there was someone back there. That's a 2-for-2 trade. YFP Corrupt picking up 2, and then unfortunately, the rest of the teammates fall not too long after. SR up to 4-round victories now, within 2 of equalizing with YFP.
Wow, just insane. This is actually a not mirrored but a reflected a little bit of a switch here. YFP versus SR. In Abyss, it was seeing SR started off really strong like this, and then the comeback came. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing them actually just trade energies right now. They're doing a great job going back, forth, and center. The YFP has one thing that SR, I think, is missing right now, and that is timeliness. They know when to use these timeouts. And honestly, if this timeout is efficient in getting their head back in the game, and they're able to set up the second half with a decently sized lead, then SR is going to not only be down rounds, but they're also going to be down mental pretty heavy here. I feel like they are, starting to get waned on a bit.
I mean, mental is just as important element of gameplay as your ability to aim and shoot in any competitive game, I think. So, while yes, it is a tough ask of any team to request that you keep your mentals up for as long as both these teams are, I think if you could prove yourself in doing so, it can give you the leg up. And YFP, I hyped y'all up so much before this map. I need you to bring your mentals back. I need you to grow this lead again. Bring it back to a 4-round lead, not just 2. 2 is not enough. I know it's enough to win the game, technically speaking, but in my eyes, it's not enough. You need to be dominant here. Shut Shopify down. And no, I'm not a fanboy of either of the 2 squads. I just like underdog stories.
Here's the thing. I like underdog stories, but these guys are both fighting as though they've been in the ring for a long time. I don't feel like there really is necessarily a underdog Chihuahua versus Greathound. I feel like these are just 2 boxers going at it in the ring right now. That's what I feel. And looking at how SR is setting themselves up here, I think that they need to get this half tied, or YFP, talk about Chihuahuas. Those little things are the loudest and the most aggressive that you can see when it comes to dogs. So
the owl drone misses Marceline. That's free angle right there. Well timed. We didn't even trigger discipline there, honestly. I was expecting trigger discipline, but I mean, not knowing how many you might go into. Killing the first, dropping the net on the second.
Oh, Misu. Okay, I love how everybody just snapped to them like you said the wrong thing at church. Here we go. Let's see what else is going to happen. A little bit of a spasm. No! Shock Dart will not finish the job. The bomb's still being tapped away, but Scary Shark's giving up the position. They know that this player is now flanking with 25 seconds. It could try to loop through and maybe hit B as 2 players are on the flank. And the best idea would be just find a new home. And they're going to go for it, but this is going to invite a nice 2 versus 2. Marceline hears the footsteps, and B has to be planted, and Silva's already repositioned. The read from FYP is beautiful. and it's a commit. No, they got off!
No!
Oh my god!
It's 0.03 seconds to get the plant, but unfortunately, the util comes through, and with a sliver of health left, that breach utility is not. You are not going to live through that.
Dang. Unfortunately, at least I got the bomb plant, but oh, that sent a shiver down my spine, and it probably just reverberated across all of SR's. FYP is now again guaranteed not only this half being at 6, but they're guaranteeing a lead moving into their attack side. And when I look at this team, when I look at the map like Haven, you know, everybody can argue whether it's attack or defensive sided. I believe it's attack sided, especially when you're having your, you know, sentinels on defense pop off. You're going to now have room for your DPS to start going off. I think YFP is now the top dog here.
Well, YFP, can you continue to be the top dog? Because Mel is intentionally making noise in a different location. We've seen Mel do this plenty of times. There is that initial flashpoint going through. It does allow us to engage. SR picked up 2 eliminations, did lose 1, so we got a trade in there. That's okay. Not the best, but when you come in and find another YFP player, all the better.
Last player standing.
Wow. And there's a triple kill for Alexis. But in this last round, it's going to be Corrupt, who walks right on into both a Hunter's Fury and a Crosshair. What a shot. What a round for SR to make it 7-5. But with the switch of the sides, with the defensive half here for SR, there is a room for change. I think a defensive Omen, we can start seeing Mel start popping off like they were on Abyss. We can also start seeing, you know, more from the Sentinel on the Noya. But at the end of the day, YFP, they have that lead.
The lead is not enough. I said, like, that 2-round lead right now is not enough. We're at the very start of the second half. This is the 3rd quarter in, so to speak. If you can bring it up to 4 and maintain that, you can give a little bit, but keep that 4-round lead. That's really what's important, because it's enough of an economy lead, too, that you can lose 2 more and then bring it back in your favor. But, YFP, can you do it? That is my request.
Well, the request has been asked. Let's see what their answer is. YFP starting off with a pretty stacked B mid hold for this default. And, you know, I say default because I know they're not committing to a full B rush here. They are going to start inching over towards that A site where Silva is going to be waiting patient for them. Now, can Misu just get enough info? Maybe get out with your life? Remember, A site is the retake point in this game. You get the info, you get out of Dodge.
I mean, I love A-Site, but Marceline, are you going to love it as much as I do? I don't think so. I think Sarah said that this is their site.
Down.
Yes, Sarah is definitely demonstrating this is their site to have. And a quick execution of everyone who was there from YFP. I think we came in too quickly. We didn't have enough information to identify how many people were where.
Gun here.
And that's
Need a drop.
YFP, I anticipated a little bit more patience from you.
Yeah, honestly, I expected a little bit more from YFP as well, but they wanted it. They were gunning. They were knowing, okay, listen, it's an A site. We have pistols. Let's try to cut the distance as fast as possible. Maybe get the range diff going. That was their intention. Unfortunately, Sarah had different plans, and that is going to be what shot them in the foot. Well, shot them in the face. And now, YFP might be having to worry about a tied game. No way.
Oh. Fault line goes through. I don't think it picks anybody up, but the paranoia lands on both players that were tucked inside a garage. They run back out to meet up with Elaborate just outside of B main. The owl drone's being used. I don't know if we're going to see. We do. Oh, at the last second, I think we spotted Jet.
Oh, spotting the Jet. Shock dart. Right onto Elaborate. That's going to be half his HP. God, half the Cypher's HP. No. Oh, but the shots from Mel. Great shots from her. And there we go. Misu cleaning it up by taking out Corrupt as well. Great plays. The sprays. There's the trades. There's a shot from Alexis. She just knows how to aim. And there is now a 2v3. Elaborate. Hold up. Cypher inching on behind him. Might be able to get this info for this team. Maybe just a bomb plant. That's all they really need.
I mean, Elaborate got seen on the owl drone, knew that their life was hanging on by a thread, a piece of floss. identified it, manages to survive, goes for a circumvention play here. There's the fault line, knows that the breach is in that left corner, doesn't have enough of an angle, though, to address that breach. But Sarah, creeping up. How did you know? Elaborate. I said it last map. Elaborate is the knower. They are the knower. That is scary.
There's no way that they do it again. Okay, it's not going to be another flawless 3-2, but it could still be a 3-2. Perfect flashbang, though. Oh, spotted. Play bomb. Play time. Alexis going for it. Sheriff in hand. Goes behind. Oh my god. Ring around the Rosie. Oh!
Come on.
I don't think... We don't have enough time.
They don't.
There's not enough time.
Oh my god. And that's a thrifty. I thought this was going to be tied.
Holy cow!
All right. Well, welcome everybody to a game that SR should not be losing, but are. I mean, Shopify Rebellion, get a coupon. This is not ideal. YFP living up to their name. When I talk about gameplay, when I talk about what I want to see, YFP, the acronym itself. Oh. Oh, Sarah pushing in. Getting spotted out. Shots now fired. Unfortunately, Sarah will get completely gunned down. Marceline gets gunned down, or gets a kill onto Alexis. Corrupt keeps it going, and there's 3. YFP off the back of that thrifty, shattering SR, and now shattering this round. Should be able to move this forward.
We've seen 2v many versus favor YFP, but SR, can you turn a 2v many in your favor? You've already made it a 2v4. Now it's a 1v3. Mel is paranoid in the dark, uses their own paranoia, manages to pick up another, is going to pick up a gun in the process, walk through Suri. Here's the spike getting dropped down. It's on A site. I think Mel maybe path up through B lobby, go to B, go to Link, and then chill out towards your spawn, but don't go for the hero play here.
Yeah, don't want to go too crazy. And you know, opportunity to save is online, but the thing about Mel is I need to see that impact. I need to see them be able to really just get that pick. So, Mel goes for it, turns the corner, spots one, but Graffiti is a little bit too bad, and there's going to be the shutdown. And that was insane. Absolutely
it wasn't
clean.
worth it. Mel, it wasn't worth it. You could have just saved a literal free gun.
Well, we talked about minor mistakes. That was a pretty big one, in my opinion. We're not seeing the fundamentals really lock in everything that I need. So, honestly, I'm looking at YFP. I'm looking at this team, and you're seeing a team that came swinging, drew blood first, was able to really start weighing on SR's streak. And now here we are, almost finishing the job.
Okay, now, if there is a map that I feel like favors an operator, it is Defense Haven. Sarah has the op, was peeking up through sewer, or spoons. Some people call it spoons. I'm one of those weird people. Didn't get the little itty-bitty bit of pixel that you needed to see the one Cypher leg that I think might have crossed over into that zone, but instead it is all hell breaking loose here on T-site. We saw the aftershock come through. We've seen both dark covers, paranoia.
Oh my god.
Both been used. There's another aftershock being engaged just to clean up, but Noya with that bouquet is going to set the pace here on C-site, telling the rest of YFP to back off.
Yeah, honestly, there's an option here to just send the recon dart to try to bait this team to not rotate, but now that Elaborate's been spotted in mid, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a brawl. Scary Shark lurking up, and unfortunately, they will be going down. And Misu
Spike down, C.
keeps it going. Well, Elaborate,
30 seconds
they
left.
knew that you were mid, so they know your garage. There's the round, a flawless for SR.
I mean, we were asking for a Cypher to ace with little to no util left, so that was a hard bargain. to run by anybody. I do wish we could have seen a save from Elaborate. Again, just a hero rifle. Those are such big difference makers, but we continue to push forward. It's a trend, I feel like, among a lot of these players to be like, I either do or I don't type of mentality with being victorious in a situation and just opt to go after it, to try it.
Yeah, but
More power to you?
let's hope that there's more power, more firepower with that op in hand in one. But honestly, we've seen this Marshall in the hands of the Breach. So scary. And it's the ops. It's Sarah. It's just Sarah. Okay, never mind. It's not just Sarah. Losing to a pistol like that, pretty wild from the Sheriff. Corrupt high ground, gets the info. But is Alexis going to be able to be good for 3, good for 2 here? Looks like B is not actually going to get pushed at all.
Well, the tragedy is Alexis only has the signature ability, so that fault line is all we have on that Breach because we are running on a bit of an eco for a lot of these players, actually. And we didn't see any Breach utils, so that's all. We didn't buy any. We are definitely a little worse for wear. And the duck peeking from Elaborate.
No way!
Good! Picks up one, grabs the gun, gets Mel. There's the fault line going through. We will have Misu dodge that, but had to shoot that recon bolt. That was tragic. So, Misu, they know you're here. So they're going to take Spike a little bit further. We went from B to C. We're planting it. Dark cover goes up with the one-way. Misu, I offer you an accord. Grab the op and walk away.
Walk away from what, though? That flank was insane. And also, I mean, yeah, they shot the dart, but the ultimate alone from the Cypher. Elaborate. MVP of Haven, hands down. Triple kill after triple kill. Ultimate after ultimate. Info gatherer. As you put them, I mean, that's what they're here for. They're the knower. They're the knowledgeable one. And YFP versus SR, underdog, just winning it out. Insanity.
They've got a 3-round lead right now. They need one more, and then I will be satisfied with their performance here today. And know that I am not the biggest critic, of course. They are going to be their own critics. I think YFP, they've shown up. They've done great. SR is taking another timeout. I want to understand what we're thinking here. Perhaps this is a coach seeing the buys and being like, yo, no, we cannot put ourselves in this situation because, again, if they lose this round, they have to go for our eco next round. They could opt for half buying here and guarantee the next round to themselves because either, like, if they don't win this one, we are staring down a very, very quick opportunity for a YFP to run away in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a big opportune moment, as you said it, but also an opportune moment because of the op in the hands of Sarah. Puns aside, if Sarah gets a kill, knives are going to be out. The Blade Storm's on the forecast, and with Sarah's knives, retake is doable no matter what the situation is. So, I can't wait to see what Sarah's going to be pulling off here with a very aggro push-up. Nice from Misu. Ultimate Hunter's Fury? Is it connected to anything? Yes, it is. It's killing. It kills Misu.
Well, it was a trade. YFP unfortunately lost their jet as well. So Marceline was gone. We've lost Misu in return on SR's team. Gonna go for that Owl drone out through B main. Well, out through snipers into B main. Trying to see what we can see. Go for the shock dart from Corrupt. Try and bait people out of their safety zones. Elaborate just lurking here inside of sewers with their with the spy cam. Looking to see if they could see. They didn't see anybody.
Yeah, it's a good effort. It's a really solid effort here, but with how this game's been going, with how Noya is now set up, you have Sarah, the op still online, and now with that kill, unfortunately, Blade Storm is here. It's going to be up to these attackers to really shatter the comeback potential of SR in this round. You know, if we make this to 7-11, this could be a real turnaround. And there we go. Great
Sarah
pick.
with one op kill. We're going to try and use the aftershock to try and gain an advantage. I don't think it's worth it. You cannot solo swing an op unless you are borderline a god at this game, I feel like. Especially when the op already knows where you're at. Scary Shark understands that and is just choosing to run away. And I respect it. But choosing to go with the fault line, yeah, pick up the orb and maybe just play for your life here. Don't actually go for the plant. Wait for time to run out. Time has gone. Round is lost. but we got the ult orb, we don't lose our gun, we keep our economy a little bit healthier, and because of that, with Marceline being down so heavily on credits here, theoretically, Scary Shark, because the save can buy Marceline, but Marceline has Blade Storm, so really there's no need if Marceline can get a pick and pick up a gun in the process.
Yeah, if Marceline can. That's the thing about this game. It's a lot of big ifs here, and I'm looking at Marceline not being the opper here. I'm actually looking at Blade Storm going to be the option, and an op in the hands of Elaborate to start us off. So, here we go. A little bit of a line. Nobody's on C besides Cypher Util. You do have one player in Garage, but not really going to be too much of an issue.
They just wanted to get Scary Shark into C lobby to grab the orb, so now they have Rolling Thunder. They can use it for retake, or they can use it to engage. I think what it's gonna come down to how they use it is how much intel they can get before they engage onto one of these sites. They didn't see anybody, so that's a risky situation to go in without using a lot of utility if you're trying to make it for an attack squad. But they found Mel, and Mel quickly falls. Scary Shark goes in response for dropping Hunter's Fury. Follow-up, Neurostep coming from Noya. We round the corner without identifying the Cypher is there, and the bald man is currently out. That is a tragic miscommunication happening for YFP.
Oh no. Well, at least the Omen showing themselves has one upside, and that's going to be the fact that they ignored the bomb. They could probably just snipe it back and maybe just go for a plant. We do have an op in the hands of Elaborate, but if they can get to A in time, hold up, that means that they can actually go for a post plant. A 2v4, definitely doable on a site like A. It's just the fact that they're doing it with an op, I think, is really going to limit them here.
Yeah, so we have the plant 4 view from A main, well, A long, which is kind of not great if they're aware that there is an op in play. We also have Mel choosing to stay, going back up towards Graffiti, very akin to what we saw from them on their retakes on defense. They like to go into that area. So if you're familiar with how these players like to play and what weapons they have, you should know where they're standing. But we're being told, Elaborate.
Oh my...
Through the smoke! Find Misu!
No way, but Sarah doesn't care what you could do through the smoke. That's a knife kill. That's the knife kill. Amazing gameplay from them. Absolutely clean from this team. And now with YFP doing 10-9, SR might be bringing us to overtime, possibly.
I mean, I'm here for the overtime. I'm always here for the overtime. And now YFP finally hitting the pause button, taking 60 seconds to reconvene, figure things out. They have that Rolling Thunder. We know that was in the cards, that they wanted to use that last round. It was just tragic. Scary Shark was the first one to fall. What do you think the new execution plan is here? Now, if they already have that ultimate online and don't need to go escort a teammate to an ult orb.
Here we go. Honestly, an ultimate like this, we should be able to see Alexis getting it as soon as possible. If they can manage just that Rolling Thunder. Retake is online. Double digits is online for both teams. I see it happening. I see what this team is able to pull off. But are they going to be able to against YFP, who does have a decent buy here? You have enough for Scary. You have enough for everybody to really pop off. I do say Sarah's op is going to be the biggest issue in their way.
Okay, so the last time that Sarah had the op, because this was a gifted op, courtesy of YFP, what ended up happening was Scary Shark actually hit them with the fault line and then followed up, I believe, with Aftershock, and then a full engagement managed to take down Sarah. That was the only time I really think on Haven that we saw Sarah get kind of stunted with the operator. But we need to identify where she's at and basically stick our Jet and our Breach to deal with that op. That's terrible because that means we're dedicating double resources to just one person.
Yeah. Let's see it then. Are they going to be able to actually use their resources to at least push them through? That's the real question. And you talk about being pushed through. Look at this. You see two players on the defense already gearing up for a flank. Elaborate with the op is most likely going to get caught out, but spots the barrel. And that's going to be a free pick. Should know another one is coming. There we go. And there it is. Great pick off.
Enemy tag. Off your feet!
There's that rolling thunder to try and prevent the defense from coming back to the site. Sarah gets cloud smoked off not once but twice, instigates that blade storm, takes a couple pot shots, but I don't think any of them landed, so we are currently down to just 4 blades left standing as we have those shock darts go into the dark cover. We find one connection to a head, but we can't get the other. That's 2 in favor of YFP currently to SR's 1.
Here we go.
One enemy remaining.
Gets it. Taps the bomb. Bomb is planted for Sewer. Time is ticking. Does succeed in getting it halved. But with 32 HP, there's no time. And YFP will secure another 9-11 scoreline. Remember, this is where they were the last time, and the last time that SR was able to take rounds in that match. So, I don't know. If you are SR, you're going to be a bit concerned.
All right, SR does have this rolling thunder. We can use it for retake. I was shocked, honestly, that we didn't try to get our Breach's rolling thunder up prior to the retake. Play a little bit more forward, a little more risque to get it, because that retake ability with rolling thunder is so huge. But YFP, no theft. Now you play the game of SR of chicken. It is, if I played too aggressive here and I get myself marked off, I have successfully given YFP a free ult. That is a scary situation to be in, because once that information's known, they're going to take the site quickly.
Ooh, I'm talking about taking sites quick. B is in the 4 site here for YFP. Waiting just for a little bit of info. Wait, no, they could lose the bomb. Just kidding. Thank God Corrupt didn't push that. Do see Mel. Judge in hand. Solid to hold garage, but that retake potential is not going to be ideal. Waiting for util. Waiting for smokes, I assume. The second they can get them out, they will try to push onto this B point. No, they're not even waiting for the smokes. They're just going right on in, and it works. They get a kill right onto Misu. They keep it moving. Alexis and Mel.
The rolling thunder did its job, though.
Did scare him away. Mm-hmm. But they're going to reset here. So Nerdy, right into Mel. Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm scared. They're going to get judged.
Maybe they won't.
Spike
Maybe
down
they
mid.
won't.
30 seconds left.
The smart disengagement. I think the trigger discipline was a little too
Enemy
much
remaining.
No
in
way.
that moment. Holy
Spike
cow! YFP is picking off SR like flies. Sarah with the off. Your off.
No.
Why would you pick a peek that?
Oh my God. Sarah can clutch. Just kidding! What am I watching right now? I don't know which team is better. This is insanity.
All right, so I rarely say this now, thankfully, but at this level of gameplay, I feel like a lot of this is a game of mistakes. And ultimately, it is not, when you get to this point, it is who is messing up more. Honestly, I thought YFP had dug their own grave in that moment. Jiggle peeking the op, and then trying to drop out the cyber cage, revealed just enough Cypher to get a quick flick shot. Did not happen. Instead, we had the op brought by Sarah to pick up the Vandal, and that was Sarah's undoing because it gave the audio in the cage.
Oh my God, Sarah just not able to hit anybody. Luckily, we do see Mel swing out of garage and take out the Omen. So now it is going to be a controller advantage over to Shopify Rebellion. However, all of this utility, all of these pokes have been prodding for what? For why? And the question might have an answer here with Misu pushing
Spike
up, Mel
down, mid.
getting another pick down. Spike is down, but immediately picked back up. YFP is down some players, but wait, they keep losing them. A Thrifty is possible. Noya.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, the Valorant timing
Spike
for
down,
Noya
mid.
was in their favor. It's Marston going down. We're hiding over by hay bales, but Scary Shark will get the elimination, pick up a Vandal as well, dropping that Guardian, but we're in a 1v3, and I'm not positive about the economy currently for YFP. I think it is relatively healthy, but it's not perfect. It's not a situation where we can lose this round and be okay
30
with
seconds left.
it might be better off to just save, but I'm also worried that we've not picked up a lot of weapons. Okay, we are actually conga lining to pick up weapons currently for SR. That's what I like to see. Let's try not to get ourselves eliminated, because SR definitely cannot lose these guns.
Oh, but the timing, Scary Short could get flanked here pretty handily. Oh, gonna allow themselves to get tagged. Tries to bait them out. Yeah, honestly, not too shabby there from SR being able to keep themselves in this game. But with double digits, they still have to win 2 in a row just to get us into that overtime. But let me ask you this, Nerdy Bird, do we think that SR has what it takes in, their economy, what's remaining of it, to actually be able to make it across that finish line and get into overtime?
I do, and that is solely for the fact that we had people bonus weapons from last round. Had all 3 of them not managed to hang on to these guns, I don't think this round would be viable.
That's valid.
So they did the right thing. They pressed forward. They picked up weapons together. They didn't put anyone in a situation where they would have been in a 1v1, and they successfully hung on to 3 weapons. They also somewhat broke YFP's economy. I am a little curious as to why YFP is forcing as much as they are when they don't have to. Instead, they could have bought light and opted to try and ruin SR's economy, and both kind of like ecoed this, and whomever wins the eco then a little bit better off next round. But now, I think both teams, if they lose more than 2 players, are going to be hurting next round regardless.
Wow. So, if either team is going to be walking away with some pain here, I really need to see the ultimates start getting popped. I need to see that Hunter's Fury. And both teams have a beautiful combo with the Cypher ultimate, with the Neural Theft plus the Hunter Fury. You can guarantee maybe 1 or 2 kills. So instead, we're just going to straight pop it. Both of them are going to go for it. And now it's going to be a little bit of a brawl to see who hits what. And Alexis hits Elaborate. But the trade comes through, and Alexis has to keep it going. But Marceline, oh my god! Marceline with the 2, Scary Shark with another. I don't even know how they managed to just keep running and gunning and getting these kills.
Misu is peeking in through garage, clearing the angle. Everyone else from YFP is convinced that these 2 are coming through main. Now we have that fault line prepped and ready to... No, it's Rolling Thunder. We hear that tap. We hit that ult, and we go. There it is, the Rolling Thunder. We are paranoid currently. It does not matter. We're revealed. Going to use the Shadow Step. Try and get out of the way. Spike is planted for main. This is a better situation for YFP. It is 1 standing. That is it. YFP taking down SR. The favored to win in a 2-1 victory.
Wow, 2-1 victory with, of course, Shopify Rebellion, the big dogs on the block here, getting knocked down by a team that I thought, you said it best, the underdogs. But honestly, an amazing showcase from both of these 2 teams. And of course, I am going to be expecting them both at the grand finals of the season here. I mean, this is an open qualifier. We do have 1 guaranteed, but 33 circuit points move on over to Shopify Rebellion regardless. So we're going to be seeing a rematch between these 2 teams, and that is going to be something that I recommend everybody else keeps their eyes on. This is going to be probably the most competitive season of Game Changers yet.
Most definitely. I think that was a rousing match, to say the least. I mean, YFP... I was rooting for you from the start of the series. You did a phenomenal job. It was great to see your journey all the way through the lower bracket back up here. And to not give up, Shopify, we'll just chalk this one up to maybe a little bit of complacency. But ultimately, that was a well-fought game on both sides. Just nearing the end of the day, everyone gets a little bit tired. And I think YFP might have hit the Red Bull a little bit harder today.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they had to have. They played so many games today, so I'm pretty excited here to see, what our analysts thought. But before I toss it back to them, I do want to say thanks for joining me in the cast today here at the unofficial GC cast, Nerdy Bird. I think we had honestly some of the most competitive esports I've seen, regardless of Game Changers, just in Valorant here. So it's been an honor to cast with you.
It was awesome casting with you as well. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, and we will be sending it quickly to our analysts. So thanks for supporting us, casters. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Edu. Thank you, Nerdy Bird. And honestly, what a series, Angel. Just I had goosebumps near the end because I was like, 2nd time in a row, SR has been decrowned.
Yeah, the SR continuing their streak of being this like false idol in GC, as they have gone yet again another qualifier without a win. Right, they lose that first one to FlyQuest, and a fashion where everyone's like, oh my goodness, Shopify, they finally lost. And then they come into this one and we're all thinking, okay, well, the only time that Shopify dropped a map was to FlyQuest, and FlyQuest was looking really good, and now there's no FlyQuest to worry about in this qualifier, so surely this is a Shopify win. They get this 26-0, like the fastest series ever in Valorant. And everyone's like, well, Shopify look really good. They look better. They look so good. Shopify has looked so good this entire time. And yet here we are. They've gone yet again winless. There's nothing we can do about it. It's YFP this time to take things over the edge. A team that in the last qualifier, Shopify knocked out in the round of 16.
And I mean, just this has got to feel for the players so I wouldn't even say a weight off the shoulder. It's just like full on ecstatic. Like, you've got to be euphoric at this point. Not only is the grudge match you were talking about, but it's also just generally the fact that they have not made it. They've made it. Like, they're going into, they're up there. They're one of the teams. We got SR, YFP X, and FlyQuest. They have now become, my brain immediately went to One Piece, like the Emperors of the Sea. They're up there with the big three, Everyone wants to be part of the crew. Everyone wants to be crowned as a victor, and YFPX have gotten it. And I just wanted to state, YFP as an org has been eating good from Red Bull home ground to now this. Yeah. They have been, okay, Nima's got to be happy to give him a shout out there.
I know Nima's gonna go crazy on Twitter.
Oh yeah, Nima's about to be like, that's my team. And such a good pickup too. The way that they played. I mean, I'll let you dive into that. But looking at the bracket, coming up from all the way, beating out Sad Frost and Oomphies back and forth. I can't really see what other name, the Aeronite GC?
Yeah,
Aeronite, they pushed through the bracket, and you would look, right? 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. You think Shopify as well. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. And this was just such a competitive series. I'm kind of gushing over it at this point. I don't even know what to say.
It was an absolutely amazing series to end off on. And by the way, in a similar fashion to last time, the grand finals was a 3-map affair. It was Shopify losing 1-2 in the grand finals. So we'll have to see. Maybe at some point, maybe in OQ3, we're gonna see it yet again, where Shopify just doesn't do it. They just can't close it out. I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think that, hopefully we see Floor in fighting form alongside the rest of the squad. We're not having to see these role shifts that are going so crazy, or maybe Floor is taking an extended break and then Misu has a bit more time to fully integrate with the squad. That's all left for the future, but Shopify, again, it's another close loss that they should be able to take with them and come back even better than they were before.
And Effie's is just like face in hand, yes, trying to think about it. And I just want to give him like a kind of like Misu, coming in as a sub. I feel like either way, what you were talking about, they didn't have too much time to play with each other. I remember Nerdy Bird was saying something like, it's about like whoever's weakest right now. And I feel like just in the team synergy, it was a little stronger for YFP. They swung together. They played just down to the basics, right? They played really well when it came down to it. It almost makes me feel bad. I really wish I just stuck with my guts and said, yeah, YFP, they're going to win this handedly. But even as the casters and as we were watching, it was so flip-floppy between them, which goes to show that YFP has risen to that level with SR. And SR, they are showing that they have some work to do before they get to that top, level yet again, because they were at the top. This is the second time in a row they've gone down. I mean, could be spelling and showcasing something weak, unfortunately.
I don't want to just fully sit here and be like, oh yeah, SR is weak, but I do agree that yes, we have seen overall a bunch of other teams start to finally catch up with Shopify in terms of skill and strategy and overall coordination, right? FlyQuest did it in the first open qualifier, YFP have been able to do it here, and I think that hopefully this should serve as a wake-up call to Shopify to to start playing with a bunch more discipline, right? How many times could we think back on clips that we've seen of people getting clutches against Shopify in bracket, or, you know, even casters talking about some of the times that these players on Shopify would overface or take fights that they didn't need to, or they don't go for the percentage play. And while it makes Shopify really entertaining to watch in these qualifiers, is that really what they should be doing to get the win?
I mean, like I said, right? I don't think so. I think that we've started to see a lot of the teams that like have risen up to that occasion. And interestingly enough, we're going to actually be talking to YFP. We have an interview coming up with, I believe, Nora of YFP X. So when we're going to go to a break, when we come back, we're going to get to dive in even deeper and kind of ask them a little bit more as to, you know, how they're feeling, all that fun stuff. So stick around for that. We'll see you guys with an interview.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality. If
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We brought it back to the interview desk. We have the spooky, the scary shark, Nora, on the desk with us. Just a feeler question. I want to just ask, how are you feeling post-game?
Q1, no Q2. It's like you don't want to play like the later Q3. So it's just like, as a pug roster, we're all trying to avoid burnout playing this game, just like the say of the scene. So it's like feeling really great that we just like don't have to play the next Q3.
Fair enough.
So just to kind of touch on the more broader GC, circuit, both this year and last year, correct me if I'm wrong, you are the same Nora Scary Shark that was on EG that beat Shopify to make it to Sao Paulo last year.
About that, I was on the EG roster for Brazil only. It was a whole entire different roster. I was filling last minute for EG in Brazil.
Okay. But you were there. So technically, we are speaking with, international GC superstar.
Yeah, international. International.
So,
world renowned.
But, yeah, exactly. And to that end, you've had a lot of history with this Shopify squad. You've been playing against them for a year now. You've had that international experience, and you're able to bring that back home to North America with, yourself admitted, more of a pug squad, right? YFP X doesn't have a lot of time in the scrim books in the server together, but you guys evidently have been playing together, or at least with, most of these players for quite a long period of time.
Yeah, we're just trying to as a roster, we're just trying to stay together and just realize hey, we might not play perfectly every single day. We might have grievances with each other. We're just trusting each other out of server, being friendly, playing games out of server, and just getting that level of chemistry, just not really in server, but in just different games, meeting up IRL sometimes. And that's our just main goal and team vibe.
Fair enough. I mean, it's a very stressful situation to be in, especially in the later rounds. So it's really good to hear that you guys are very coordinated with each other. I want to ask, in the final rounds, in the final moments, right, when it came down to any of the more dicey rounds per each map, how did you guys recollect yourself mid-round?
It's just making sure if you're dead, you're calming. If you're alive, you're calming, and just every single person just chipping in their 20% just to make it easier for us all. Just so if someone steps down, loses some momentum of themselves, we have them. We just pick each other up. We try to be a 5-man team
Keep
rather
the
than
vibes
just
up.
Yeah, keep the vibes up.
Energy up.
Keep our fundamentals up.
For that. So I follow up for that because you guys played, 20 and 18 rounds. To talk about that, you guys played multiple rounds of Valorant consecutively, three going the distance, and then immediately into grand finals, which also went the distance on top of that. Did that kind of affect your guys' mental at any point, and was potentially a reason why you might have lost a map?
I mean, we all have our reasons to win maps, lose maps, and it was honestly a really big reason. We started a day off feeling confident, and it's oh, these people are serious. They want to win just as much as we want to win, and it was just it did impact us. I think just a bit, where it's just okay, we can do this though, right? That's the end goal or end lesson we learn. It's we can do this, right? We're not going to give up on each other, even if it's 2018, right? We're just going to keep playing our game, even when we're down on OT 5 times in a row. We're going to win. It's just the lesson you learned.
I mean, I respect it. Just to kind of end things off, if we're gonna kind of give the mic to you. If you want to shout out any of your fellow teammates who you feel stepped up, did amazing today. If you want to shout out anyone, any person watching at home, family, friends, whatever, the mic is yours, Nora. Do with it as you wish.
Oh my god, I want to shout out Melia and Wiley. They've been playing in co-ed, and since as a team of 5, we're not practicing, but they're just putting in the hours in their co-ed team, scrimming, playing matches. Also want to shout out Ella. She went insane this tourney. Just every time she was in 1v3, 1v2, she just leveled up from last of Q1, and she's just getting better and better every single time we play together. Also Gina, our role duelist player, when she pops off, it's fucking beautiful to watch. She kills 3, and if not, she gets us so much value in space, and it's just so easy to play over. Just all my teammates in general, just stepping up every single day on this tourney, just made it so fun to play. I can just sit back and be yo guys, go kill them. I just sit back holding an angle. It was so fun playing with them.
That's wholesome. I love when players are uplifting their fellow players, especially when we can't talk to them a bit. But huge shouts out to you yourself for coming up. And honestly, shouts out to you and congrats to you guys to making it to the main event. Best of luck. Honestly, all of us at home are watching and wishing and hoping you guys make it and go the distance. But with that, I mean, we're going to be wrapping up the broadcast here. Angel, I want to shout you out. Thank you for coming in. The rest of the team here, Edu and Nerdy Bird for coming on, Paulsable earlier, yourself earlier, right? You've been here the whole time. And T, who has been our amazing producer. Huge shouts out to everyone who makes this happen. Make sure to follow along here on Zobi's channel to check out some more unofficial GC action. Follow them on Twitter as well. And this, obviously, some shout out I completely forgot. Tech Knight Emzera has been a huge supporter of the GC unofficial cast, so you got to give them a shout out here near and towards the end. With that, do we have any other capstones here, Angel?
I don't think so. I believe we've covered everything. Also, shout outs to Nora for joining us. We'll be seeing more of you in main event number 3, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that'll all be super exciting. Thank you to the viewers for sticking with us, and I believe, nerds, we can call it a night. And this will be it. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.